Well. Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to the Camera Life Podcast. It is Thursday, the 5th of February, 2026, and we are here to bring you yet another amazing photography interview, I should say. We are joined today by beauty, fashion, portrait, fine art photographer, Peter Coulson. Peter, welcome to the show. It's great to have you on board.
Yeah, it's good to be here. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, so we've been talking about getting you on for quite some time, and here you are. It's almost like Christmas for some of us. Now today we're going to obviously we're going to unpack as much of your story as we can fit into this time slot. But just before we get on to that, just a quick good morning to Justin, and Jim is back. Everybody,
Jim's back.
Yeah,
back.
What's up?
Everybody, clap for Jim. Well done, Jim.
Yeah,
great to have you back, mate.
I guess, Peter, we should introduce ourselves officially. I'm Justin. I'm a ex-wedding photographer. That's probably the best way to describe me. And amongst other things, sports and bits and pieces. And Jim, what are you? You're a current wedding photographer. But budding boudoir photographer, and also bit of everything kind of thing. And Greg's the podmaster. And street photographer.
I do know how to use
film shooter.
Don't hold that against me.
Sorry, starting on Fuji.
We all make mistakes, Peter. We all make mistakes. But look, great to have you on board. We will get to saying good morning to the chat in just a moment, but let's just dive straight into a question. Peter, for the handful of people who may not know who you are, who are you? What do you shoot? What are you known for?
I'm self-taught. I failed at school so bad they kicked me out after a month and gave me parents their money back.
Wow. If they'd kept the money, you would understand, but just giving the money back is just a statement on its own.
Yeah,
it's next level.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Completely just, it was a hobby I did alongside my passion, which was music. And it was something I enjoyed alongside of that. And as I traveled through life, it was something I used a lot with my businesses. So I ended up taking photos of stuff for my businesses, which became ads for my businesses. And then some stupid magazine thought I was good enough to employ or book me. And that is my style. I just completely self-taught, look at something I like and want to know how to do it, or try and teach myself how to do it. And anything I don't like, I just flick the page, don't care. And I predominantly black and white photographer. I love black and white because it's timeless. And I love fashion, and I love fashion, beauty, portraits. And I've also got a very messed up sense of humor and mind. So I'll do some crazy art stuff, which is sometimes people see it's inappropriate, but it's my way of getting people to discuss subjects without writing something on there. It sort of opens people's eyes up a little bit. That's pretty much me in a nutshell.
Yep. Okay. I want to follow on from that. Before you joined us earlier this morning, Justin and I were talking about how we noticed on your website and on your workshop website and on your socials, some of which we can't show today because it's the nature of the sort of work you do, but we will bring up your Instagram a little bit later on. But we saw no mention of the word boudoir. Now, we talked about, Jim's a budding, excellent boudoir photographer. How do you define the difference between boudoir and beauty and fashion? People like to pigeonhole genres. Where do you see that in relation to your work?
Lots of people won't like my answer, but I don't know how my eyes were trained to fashion, and I was trained to, I think I've worked out how it happened. And boudoir is so far left to what fashion is. So fashion is about, it's more about shape. It's more about soul, feel. We don't necessarily need clothes. In fact, quite often having less clothes means the story can be told better because, that tartan jacket's not saying something, that cowboy hat's not saying, you follow me?
Yeah.
I studied a lot of this stuff, like when I started, I was doing a lot of stuff for pin-up magazines, and those 1950s, 1960s, and that boudoir look and the old flapper girls look. a lot of that is really soft porn. It's really designed more for males to look at, whereas I much prefer to take photos for females to look at. And there's just a difference about the whole feel of the picture. A girl laying on the side with a pillow looking at you, oh, hello. Most females don't like that picture. That's what a male likes to look at. They'd rather someone like an Angelina Jolie sitting there butt naked on a chair just staring them back down going, F you. And that's the difference. My eyes are trained, and my grandmother's most likely the reason for this, but most of the people in my life are females. I have very few male friends I see every day. Like I've got to put up with Bec every day of my but most of them are good friends before Bec. There was Natasha, who's still a very good friend. She was my muse for 10 years, and she's very pregnant at the moment. I shot her pregnancy shots on the weekend. We go for walks now, and 2-hour walk and just have a chat together. So that's just the people in my life, and it's very annoying for me and upsetting for me the amount of people that try and look at my work and try and sexualize it or try and make it this is, whereas lots of my pictures, women look like they're naked, but they're not naked. And that's the big difference with me. Nobody knows this. Bec and I did a series on the street, Naked on the Street. Bec does not do nude. We've got pictures of her in Disneyland, in Times Square, on Sunset Boulevard, at the Coliseum, all around the world, and she looks butt naked except she's got a pair of boots on. It's just the way we pose her. But because of that, there's a whole feel to the picture. And that's how I work. It's more about it's one of the reasons I like my black and white. You don't know what year it was taken. You can never tell what year a black and white's been taken. And maybe if you put a sepia or something over it and things like that. And the same with clothing. As soon as you add clothing, you're adding a story. So it's not like I want their boobs out because that's distracting on their own, but I like to remove anything that's going to add to a story that I don't want. I just want them to see the person. And a lot of people don't realize I am actually an eye photographer. And it really annoys me. Some of my most favorite photographers in the world are not eye photographers. They're their story, like Helmut Newton, beautiful shapes, high in fashion. Very rarely does he put an expression in the eye or chase an expression. Whereas that's who I am. I don't like look away shots. Look away to me is a failure. Like if I'm going to model it, I can't get a shot. Look away, I'll get a shot straight away. But to me, I'm not seeing her soul come out of her eyes. And if you go to my website or my Instagram and flick very quickly, you'll see very, very quickly a lot of my pictures are about the eyes.
I'm scrolling through it right now. It's like, you're getting eye contact immediately from every picture, basically.
And some of these pictures, it took an hour and a half to get that frame. It's very hard to get someone to let go so you're getting part of their soul come out. And you can try and tell the model a story. Yeah, good luck with that. Just because you think Justin Timberlake's hot, I guarantee you the model doesn't. So trying to find the story you tell them to get that look, you can't because you don't know what they like and what they don't like. They're not going to tell you because if they're into Justin Timberlake, they're never going to tell you that. So they're going to be living a lie. So already their eyes are in a lie. So I tend to work with, when I'm talking to them, go to your favorite place in the world. Don't tell me. I don't want to know. You just go there right now and be there with who you want to be there with. And that could be an animal. It could be whatever. I'm not putting anything. I'm letting them go to a place and allowing them to start to relax. And then I'm always watching so much on the eyes. And once I start to see something, then I'll build on that until I can get the eyes I want. One of the series I haven't done it for a little while, it's so hard to do, is a crying shot and getting the first tear. And I'm not there sitting, oh, you're ugly, you shouldn't be a model, you shouldn't be, I don't do that. So I'm not, it has to come real. It has to be a real tear. So with a couple of models, it was pretty easy. Music could do it for them. There was it might have been a soundtrack to a movie that got them to cry and things like that. I think I wasted 2 hours with Bec, and the tear would just start, then disappear. She'd suck it back in. It was so frustrating. And then one day we're walking through Barcelona, and all of a sudden she's got tears pouring out of her eyes because there's a pug, a little dog, walking up the footpath, and she used to have a pug herself, or Doug the pug, and she saw that, and tears just poured out her eyes, and I just said, "You bitch."
Well, I mean, now you know you just need a pug in the studio.
Yeah, that's it's
Yeah,
all.
get
Yeah.
some puppies. Yeah, that sounds
Oh
terrible.
no, it's pretty much. But yeah, things like that taught me a lot. And I recently did one for a singer of a metal band, and we were having discussion, and I sort of brought it up, and she said she'd love to do it. And then the next minute I'm doing a commercial shoot for her for a single, and it was something about the tears. So we shot everything she wanted. I said, all right, remember we were talking about this the other day, tears? Now we're going for the crying shot. And literally, it didn't take me that long. It took about 10 minutes, and we got the first tear. And that was a single, the cover for a song. So those things, you tend to learn a lot when you put yourself under pressure to get shots like that.
Mm.
I don't do a lot of it because you need the right person. And most of the models feel very flat for the next 10 minutes afterwards because they've had to go to a deep place to get that.
Yeah.
So it can kill the rest of the shoot. So you don't want to do it at the start of the shoot.
Don't do it at the start.
Yeah, that makes
Well,
sense.
I'm interested about like going back to just working with like taking them to their happy place to get the eye contact or the soul in the eyes that you're looking for. At what point in the shoot does that normally happen? When do you? Is it like you've got everything working for the shot you want, and then you're just looking for that that thing in the eyes, and that's when you start working on that? Like when in the process does that start to happen?
Right. If I'm working with someone I haven't worked with before, I normally the first 15, 20 minutes, I just let them go. And I'll see that they're either a click move model. So it'll be, and they will not move till you click, and then they'll move, and then you'll click. And I let them do some of that stuff because a lot of e-com commercial crap is like that. So they've got into these habits. After a while, I try and get that out of them. I've got a couple of videos I show them how real models move. And I normally turn my camera off and lift a video. So when you lift a video, they can't do stop and wait for the click. They have to move. So all of a sudden they start moving. They get this nice little drift. They'll have a little bit of a pattern. They always do. And then once they start doing that, I can put and then start shooting them. A lot of models, when they click, they'll go from here to here to here. Every one of those shots is a pose. It's not that person. Yep. It's basically just something stuck on the front of them. But as soon as you get them to move from there to there slowly, they feel something in that journey. Their face changes in that click. So once I can get them to flow and just be them, so it doesn't feel like they're trying to pose, they're actually moving how they would really move. And once they're doing that fluidly, then I start working on the inside, trying to get the eyes. There's lots of tricks I use with models, and lighting is simple. Lighting is so easy. Capturing that moment with a model is so hard. It's nearly as hard as doing a wedding. I have done weddings. I hate them.
Have you?
I'm so stressed at a wedding. No, can't do it. It's, you drive to the bride's place, you leave the bride's place, and you go, if I crash now, they don't have a photographer. I hope everything's... Sorry, I'm like that the entire wedding.
Yeah.
You can't think about that.
When did you do one? Was this like early in your career? How did it come about?
Oh yeah, it's a point where I made a transition from being a fishing photographer or lifestyle photographer to trying to get into fashion. I know it's a big difference. My wife said, whatever you want to do. When I did that, I basically, it was weddings, parties, anything. Any single thing I could do to earn a cent out of photography, I did. And I tried to work 3 to 4 days a week, earning as much money as I can without ripping people off, just being good, fair, supplying good work. But one minute I'll be shooting real estate. Next one would be corporate headshots, and I'll be doing babies, and I'm doing weddings, so anything.
Yep.
And then the 3 days I had free each week, that was just 100% on my folio and what I wanted to do. And that was the only stuff I showed the world. I didn't show anything. I never posted any of my what I called money-making work. And I still don't. 90% of my commercial work, most people never see because it's not my work. There's an art director. There's somebody else's idea. It's because if I would have done it, I would have done it different. So I was lucky enough to have a couple of clients that were really, really good. And it was, here, Peter, off you go. And it was, you pick the models, you do the hair, makeup, you do the scene, you do the whole story. It's your shoot.
Yep.
It's amazing.
I want to dive into a bit of a breakdown of where your time is spent on average. But just before we get to that question, maybe I think, Justin, if you want to say good morning to some people in the chat.
I do, because everyone's here. I'll just quickly run through them. William Kale, new face, I think. I'll be watching. Please do. Please subscribe too. That'd be nice.
Yeah.
Wookie, good to see you. Nick Fletcher, good morning. LTK, Tin Type Man, Philip Johnson, David Mascaro from San Francisco, Bruce Moyle. Good morning all. Jumping in and back out on a job. Just wanted to say hi to Peter, who helped me define my lighting back in the day.
Oh, nice.
Very
Bruce.
Cool. Tony's only here to talk sim racing. Tony's a friend of mine. We actually, we'll talk about it later, but I actually got my first go in a sim just on Sunday. And I was telling you about your setup that I saw on YouTube, so I'll talk about it later. Hey, Tony. Tin Type Man says, Peter's my favorite YouTube channel, even better than yours, Justin. Looking forward to this.
Sorry.
It's not, hey, it's fair.
Yeah.
David Mascaro says, good to see Jim, Nick on Odyssey back. It is.
Hey, Jim.
I don't know if we should, anyway. Nick's making fun of him. Phil Thompson, good to see you. Lisa Leach, Glenn Lavender, says it's a pose, not the person. Great way to phrase it. Yeah, that was pretty good. I think this podcast has started off hot. It's awesome. And Dennis Smith, hey Peter, thanks for the wild YouTube channel. It's always been inspirational to me on many levels.
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah. Dennis is all over it. Rodney Nicholson, Arthur L, and Julie Powell. Good to have you all here.
Good morning, everybody.
Morning.
Thanks for joining us. And look, if you are new here, this is your first time watching. Perhaps you've hopped on because you've heard that Peter's joining us today. We don't blame you for that. But give us a like on YouTube. It certainly helps out a lot. It helps other people know that we're doing this sort of content. And also subscribe. It's free. You just hit the subscribe button, tickle the bell icon, so you'll get notified in your time zone as to when our episodes are going live, which is twice a week. It's every Thursday morning, 9 a.m. Australian Eastern Daylight or Standard Time, depending on the time of year. And then every Monday evening, we have our random photography show where we talk news, reviews, unboxings, and much, much more, especially looking at your images that you send in to us. And that's every Monday evening, 7:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight or Standard Time. Welcome. Welcome to everyone.
Yeah. Back to the
Peter,
show.
you mentioned earlier that a couple of things that have kind of stuck out for me is that, you talked about your past businesses and you've talked a little bit about how you were shooting weddings, parties, anything to make $1. I imagine that was in your early stages of your career. Can you take us back to that time? And, I know for me personally, I can't speak for everyone, but when I first picked up a digital camera to actually make something of it, I just shot whatever. I shot whatever I could. More as a learning curve than anything, but also to make some money to pay for the gear. Tell us about that time for you. What was that experience like, and how did that then lead you into where you are now?
One thing people don't realize, I'd been shooting since I was about 15. So when parents bought me my first camera, I was into music. So all I wanted to do was create record covers, as you can imagine. And I started off with my first camera was a little Kodak Instamatic. That little square pop flash, you got 4 flashes out of. That was it. Basically 2 switches on it, that's all. And I still can't believe the photos I took with that camera. As I got a little bit older, I used to steal Dad's Minolta, and he had a big Mets flash on it. And I'd go to rock concerts because I looked like a photographer. They put me in the mosh pit. Back in those days, the mosh pit was where photographers were, not where you got killed. And because I was a long-haired, skinny geek, like I had hair down to my ass, I was stick skinny. I just stood out, and I was very gothic. I wore nothing but black. I think the first break I had was Chuck Berry. I was at their concert festival hall, and bouncers come down, grabbed me, and I thought, oh shit, they found out I'm not real, and walked me around and walked me up the side of the stage and walked me onto stage. And Chuck Berry told me to sit next to his guitar so I could photograph him doing the Chuck Berry walk with the crowd behind him.
Oh, wow.
So for the whole gig, or for I'd say 70% of the gig, I spent it on stage.
Oh, that's
shooting.
awesome. And you weren't there in any official capacity? You were there just sort of shooting for yourself?
No.
Oh, that's unreal.
So I was so lucky with everything that happened in those years. I went to Status Quo. They kept on doing their whole thing over the top of me because, again, I look so different to all the other guys. But then at the end of that show, they took all my film off me.
Oh,
They got my name, and I was only 15 at the time, and I was just, oh shit, I shouldn't be doing this. Then they got my name, my phone number, and it wasn't like mobiles. There's no such thing as that anymore. It was basically my parents' number.
Yeah.
And my mum's come to school and picked me up and said, what have you done? I said, what do you mean? She said, we've got to go into a solicitor's office in the city.
Ooh.
So we went in there, and there's two big guys there, and they're saying that you took the photos at their Status Quo concert. This box here is all the developed pictures, 8x10 for you. We just need you to sign this piece of paper so we can use them and keep the rest. And me being 15, I get these photos, and two of them are signed by Status Quo, my own art. So little things like that. And yeah, stupid me, because I just sold my copyright, but who cares at 15? Yeah, some of the photos on Status Quo Live cover is on the album are my photos. Not only I know that, I don't care. It doesn't worry me. I've never been an attention seeker for that stuff. I just know myself. So that sort of all of those years, that was all film.
Yeah.
I never had any light meter. It was all learning. And when you have to work with bands live on stages, and I did Sunbury, I did all the big places. I was lucky enough to photograph Queen 3 times. I've got the amount of bands I got to shot. David Coverdale from Deep Purple grabbed my camera off me, leaned over, grabbed it. And I'm thinking, oh, they smashed guitars, and this is Dad's camera.
Oh, no.
And he went round and shot all the band members and handed it back to me.
What?
He just didn't. Yeah, he just didn't think to focus once, but that doesn't matter.
I was going to say, did the photos work at all or not?
No, they're just a blurry mess.
Still cool. Still very cool. Wow,
but a lot of my learning was not school, not books. There's no YouTube. There's no internet. It was just go out. I'd do things like I would want to play with depth of field, and I'd write some stuff on paper. But when the film came back, I couldn't work out which pitch was what picture because one was missing or there was two black rolls. So it never worked great. So you just end up, I don't know, it was much harder and much easier back then.
It's insane the difference in learning speed. I've said often, because I didn't start photography until I was really close to 30, late 20s. I can't even remember. But I started on digital, and I don't think I would have made it starting on film. I don't think I would have got through the slower learning curve, the slower, more meticulous learning curve, rather than being able to just take a photo, look on the back of the screen. Oh, that's what that does. Oh, that's what that does. You know, like,
right, yeah.
It is completely different, isn't it? It's
the time to wait to get a film back. And
yeah.
But also life was slower back then. You know, I learned film photography at art school. Everything was slower. We didn't have internet. We didn't have socials. We didn't have Ubers. Everything was had to work at a pace that matched the era.
Yeah, 100%. And when getting back to your original question, so I was working for a lifestyle magazine, and I'd say 80% of the period of time I was working with them, I was still on film. They didn't like digital. My first digital camera, and I think this is why I still don't like them today, was a Fuji. And it was horrible. The amount of people, there's this weird shaping thing.
Sorry, I just got to mute you for a little while, Peter. Oh, sorry.
So,
yeah.
How early was it?
This is going back a long time.
Okay.
I'm too old to even remember dates, but the first time I was able to get the magazine to use any digital photography at all, it was a Canon. I think it was either a D60 or a 6D or something like that. It was a 4 or 6 megapixel. It cost nearly $10,000 back in the day. It was just equivalent to the EOS 1. It was that quality built. It was only 4 or 6 megapixels. It was a beautiful camera. And even then, I had a lot of trouble getting the magazines. They kept on saying, the color's not right. The thing was, I was so used to, we were shooting Velvia and Provia and things like that. I was so used to false colors. They couldn't handle real color. And that's what digital gave us. But making that transition, I did a shoot for the magazine. Well, it was a really long story. I won't break it down. But I did a freak shoot out in the Highlands of Central Tasmania in an absolute blizzard. Columbia Clothing saw the shot. They said, we haven't got this in production yet. We need to get this out now. They quickly needed a studio shot. They said, the guy who ever shot that can do it. We'll pay for him. I had no idea about studios. Had no idea whatsoever. I said to the editor of the magazine, I've got no idea in the studios. It's just me. So, well, we've got a studio. We're supplying somebody to do all of that for you. You're just more like the button pusher and the art director. So I went in there, I had a male and a female, had an absolute ball, couldn't believe I can now control light. What, I can make it brighter and darker and play with the background, which I had never had that ability. So just in there, and I got home that night and said to my wife, honey, we're going to go broke. I want to be a fashion photographer. And literally that night I said it, and within a month I stopped working with a magazine. I'd found a very cheap studio. It was actually even had a psych in it. It was $100 a week.
What?
And it was 4-meter ceilings. It had a psych. It was about, I think, 15 meters by about 10 meters. It might have been 20 meters by 10. It was a long, pretty much where I am now, right through to the window. It was in an arcade from a major shopping centre to the railway station.
Right.
And I had glass windows the whole way along there. And it was because I got to bulldoze this whole thing down. They could only give a short-term lease.
Okay.
I think I was there for 4 years. Should have only been 1. And then I had to leave, and that's when I got this place. But the studio is still sitting there unused 17 years later. 17 years later, it is still sitting there unused.
The development hasn't happened. It hasn't.
Government stuffed it all up. Yeah, it was supposed to be government money. They've done all the other developments. It was $100 a week.
Oh my gosh!
There you go.
So,
Justin,
and even
in the studio space,
yeah, I could afford that.
Even with that, I had there was a lady that taught me makeup. Most people don't know I'm a makeup artist, but and she was across the other side, and this is why I saw this spot. She had a little makeup school in there, and she then subbed some of my room because she didn't need the size she had. And I didn't realize she was so high up in the fashion industry. So she got doors opening for me very quick. Within the first year of being in there, I was shooting Angelina Boccini and Jane Hill.
Do you think having your own studio was a big help in accelerating?
Oh, 100%. And I don't wish it on anybody because it is a nightmare. Once you've got it, you're worrying about your camera gear. Now you've got all the studio gear. Now you're thinking about props, and it's just never. And then you haven't got enough room for anything, so you need something bigger, like this stupid place. And this doesn't cost me $100 a week.
I bet.
But by having your own space that you can just walk into, and it's your space, you're not sharing it with anybody else, means when you leave and when you come back next it's exactly the same. And you can waste days learning.
When you're not on the clock paying an hourly rate at a studio trying to learn to a test shoot or something like that.
You can't, you need to be able to sit back and breathe and look and say, what am I doing with these images? These look so amateur. And I always set myself very high goals. I'm one of these people that if I'm going to do something, I do it properly or I don't do it at all. I gave up fishing. I gave up golf. I've given up a few things in my life. I haven't given up music. I still love music. I can't play it the way I want. I want to be like Geddy Lee. I could never play as good as him. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. He's one of the best bass players in the world from Rush.
Okay. Oh, really? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know him by name, but I know the
band Rush. Yeah.
I know the band and the bass.
And I could never play as good as him, so it got me frustrated. But when it came to writing, I could still do that. So that's why I still do music today. And with the joy of computers, I can build on that.
Yeah.
But back on to those days, so I had this nice studio space at my fingertips. I had some pretty cheap shit gear, except I had 2 good quality lights. And I did a book many years ago in fly fishing. And I had to photograph all the macro shots of all the flies for fly fishing. And I went and saw Rod, and they used to be called Beltronics in Richmond, which ended up being Sun Studios. And saw Rod in there, and he told me all the right stuff to do. He said, no, ignore this shit. Just these 2 Visitech lights, which was a cheap version of Broncolor. He said, if you just do this, and I shot the entire book just with those. Had no problems at all. I ended up being a customer of theirs forever. Like I bought my first Scoro pack through there, bought all my Broncolor stuff through them. Rod always looked after me until he became Santa Claus. He retired and ended up being a Santa Claus at shopping centres. It's so funny.
Really? That's awesome.
I had 2 models come and sit on his knee one year. He didn't even know we were coming in.
Oh, that's awesome.
Anyway, back then, that was all the lighting gear I had. I then started buying some cheap Chinese crap, but that's all I could afford. And as long as you got one good light, it doesn't matter if your other lights vary a little bit and the color's not quite right and they go pop every now and then, as long as your main light can work. And it was just a matter of slowly developing. And a few times I got diverted, listening to the wrong people or thinking this is what I like, but it wasn't. The very, very amazing Canadian-French portrait photographer whose wife used to overpaint in Corel over the portraits, literally paint over the digital thing with Corel. But they had that very old-fashioned portrait look, and he would use up to 15 lights, and he'd light it completely with a light meter. Wow. And I assisted him for 3 days in Melbourne when he was doing some talks and he had some commercial work. And he taught me all these tricks. We just clicked straight away. And I went deep into that, but then it became too technical. And yes, I got the most incredible lighting, but the model couldn't move a millimeter. Because if she did, that little eye light has now come into her ear. You had no soul in your pictures. It's nearly like AI before AI started. It was soulless, perfectly portraited, and that's not who I am. I want something broken. So I just pretty much having the space I had, having the windows I just had big black curtains on them, but I hung pictures in those windows and changed them every single week, properly framed pictures. But I made it so the pictures were all at, I think it was A2 size, and I had the frames made so I can take the back off, just drop a new frame in, put it back in the frame and put it up there. So I didn't have the expense. And quite often I'd just peer out through the gap in the curtains and there'd be 6 or 7 people slowly walking, looking at the photos. And I'd be just my art and those type of things. And the amount of times I knock on the door, is that for sale? Or, do you do baby shots? Do you do weddings? Another thing I did whenever I went anywhere, I made sure the person who I was interacting with knew I was a photographer by the time I left, without me saying, hey, by the way, I'm a photographer.
Yeah.
Just simple little things, working ways in a conversation. So I go, so what do you do for a living?
Yeah.
And I picked up 3 model portfolio shoots from girls who are checkout chicks. And it wasn't them, it was their sisters or a family friend member. It was just like, so we'd buy model food, which was predominantly, lollies and things like that, things that models can eat while they got lipstick on. So they've been shooting for 2 hours. They need some sugar. So I'd have jars and so I'd go, and I'd say, this isn't for me, it's for work. They go, oh, so what do you do for work? Bang.
Yeah.
So
As
it's
you're
like what people would call networking, but it's not.
Networking.
It's just getting that out there to as many avenues as possible. You know, you're not like, oh, I'm going to try and find the big movers and shakers and introduce myself to them. It's just letting everyone know what you do, and letting those connections flow.
Yeah, very little in my life I've spent money on advertising. I think most of it's waste of money. Unless you're trying to build brand names and things like that, you just want, Coca-Cola, you plaster everywhere. But what I have learned is as soon as you know it's an advertisement, you turn off.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter where it comes up, you just turn off straight away. So I learned very quickly to try and do smart advertising. So my front window in that studio collected a lot of people. And I picked up one of my biggest clients I've ever had off that front window. A lady just walked in. We're just setting up a new mortgage brokering firm around the corner. It's just 4 of us. We just need some corporate headshots. So I went down and saw them, and they're going to do more mortgage brokering. Nobody ever heard of them. Went in there, did some shots. They wanted something a little bit different. I said, well, everybody's boring with their corporate stuff, so you need your corporate shot. But people, especially when it comes to lawyers and banks and people like that, people are really not trusting. So why don't we just have a separate picture where we actually photograph you as who you really are? So if you're into soccer, we're going to put you in your soccer clothing, put you on a soccer field. If you're into your family, you're going to have your family in the picture. If you're into bike riding, we're going to put you in your bike gear, helmet on with your bike. We're just going to find who you are and use that so there's a talking point straight away in the meeting. Oh, so you like riding? And I did that with them. I ended up doing, I'd say, more than 500 corporate headshots for that company.
Holy moly!
They're called Mortgage First. They grew like wildfire.
That was their first office. That was the beginning of their company.
Ringwood. Yes.
Oh my gosh!
Right, and even the original directors, because it's all been bought out now. Even them today, one was in Queensland. I'm not sure where the other one is right now. They still contact me every now and then for a photo shoot.
Yeah.
Right. So number one is it's getting the people in, but then it's supplying them with a service that nobody else gives them. It gives them true advice, give them good ideas. And at the end of the day, they love the fact I wanted to show everybody who they were, not just this is a picture.
Yeah.
This is their soul. And it worked so well for their business.
It's a great idea.
Yeah, it's a great angle. That's for sure. That's for
right,
sure.
So do I need to break for a minute? Sorry, I can talk underwater.
No,
I'm just making notes. This is like,
So another little thing I did whenever I was doing sort of, daughters, the shots for the mother of their daughters, 14, 15. So, there's all those type of shots, the portraiture type stuff. I would find their favorite picture, and I had a pre-action built into Photoshop that turned it into business cards with all my details on it. So it was their daughter with all my details on it onto a nice hard card. They'll just get 10 free. They're never going to throw that away, are they? They're certainly going to pass it to somebody.
Yeah.
That's
best
genius.
Advertising in the world. The amount of work I got out for 10 minutes work.
Customized business cards with the photo of the client's kids.
The best picture from that thing. I gave it to the client.
That's
and 1 or 2 client goes, "Oh, you can't use it." No, these are the only 10. They're yours.
Yeah.
That is. I'm writing that down. I'm trying to launch a new business this year, a pet photography business.
Good.
That's genius. That is like if it's their dog on the business card from their like.
Yep.
Okay.
We're going to share.
That's genius.
So other things.
There was comments just quickly. Sorry, there was actually comments in here asking about business cards. I know that's prompted. Roy Bixby was asking, "Does anyone else still hand out business cards, or am I just old?" And the only reply in the chat was Samantha Olsen saying, I still hand them out. It's because I had 4,000 made, so I have no choice. Do you still use business cards now at all, Peter?
I still have them with me. So when you bump into somebody, how do you show them your Instagram? How do you show them your webpage quickly?
Yeah.
Here's a card.
Yeah.
On my business card, I don't have one on my desk. On my business card, it has a QR code. So all I have to do is that they're on my website. It's that simple.
Yeah, we did that for our Lucky Straps cards.
Yeah, we
because we
did
went to the Bright Festival of Photography last year. Oh, and the year before, I think we had them with the QR code, and then it would come to the podcast. It would go to our product website. It would go to our personal bios. It was such a great tool. That's
I had mine printed 12 years ago.
Did you really?
Wow.
Yes.
Get like
One of the first.
100,000 done.
No, I didn't have that many. I don't hand out that many, but the QR code was a whole new thing. Everyone thought, and the other day I scanned it myself. This still couldn't work, and bang, took me straight to my webpage. Even though I've had my webpage changed 4 times, it's still the same address, so it still took me there.
Exactly.
Yeah,
It's all URL cool. based. Yeah.
They almost died, and then COVID kind of re-energized the QR code.
Yeah.
Before we started our, like Jim and I shot weddings together. Before we started our wedding business, I worked at a marketing agency, and we we used to laugh because QR codes had become popular, and then they were sort of becoming used, and clients were saying, "Oh, should we put a QR code on this poster?" And we were like, "Just put the website on there." Like, no one, like, why? Why would you want a QR code on there? It's just some trendy thing that's nothing. And that was that would have been in like 2012, maybe.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, all these years later, they become very, very useful for a broader population, and they got adopted so that people would actually, because no one was scanning them back then. No one knew what to do with it. But now it's ubiquitous. It's quite crazy that Jim's right. They sort of almost petered off until I guess around COVID. What did COVID bring them back? Oh, for checking
we had
into
to check
places.
in. Yeah. Don't bring it up.
So cameras had to accommodate them, and then it just stopped. So
But now as soon as now I hate them because it reminds me of shitty restaurants.
Yeah.
Where they want me to look at the menu on my phone. I have dyslexia. Small writing messes me. Yeah. And you can only fit so much on a phone. Yeah. I just think why service. I'm all about service. Just give us a menu.
Give a menu. You should always have a printed menu. You can have an optional phone menu for people that like that if you want, but always printed menu.
Bec wants the menu. In fact, Bec wants the menu a week before so she can study it before we get there.
That's what your language like.
We're in London. We went to a ramen place. I ended up getting a cold salad. I thought I was ordering ramen because I was on a stupid phone thing. I couldn't read it properly. So that one, and it was horrible. And then all I got was shit hung on me by Bec and her fiance. Why are you eating that? Anyway.
Okay, so printed menus.
Quick other little diversions. Some industries are very, very hard to get into as a photographer. F1 photography. Good luck with that, right? So you've got to try and find the back door. And what I found is I really wanted to get into fashion, but pretty much nobody was going to touch you if you didn't have something seen in magazines. Not going, Chadwick's or Vivian's aren't going to give you models what you used to shoot fishermen. It's you're just not going to get anything. And I found that in the fashion industry, sorry,
that was mine. That's okay. You can take it.
No, it's just my daughter. No, I put it on the flight mode, and I don't know why it got through. So with the fashion industry, it's very, very hard. You really need your name seen for 10 years before anybody will even book you. A fashion shoot's $2,000 an hour. Think about it carefully. Do you want to risk $2,000 an hour on a photographer that doesn't know what they're doing? So what I found is there's a lot of alternative fashion. So there's the club wear, the goths, the emos, all of this area. There's the pin-up, and they're dying for photographers. And even into the fetish wear, Reactor Rubber and some of those companies. They ended up being really big companies for me in the end. But they got me the break in because Gallery Serpentine in Sydney, another one, Victoriana, they're all laced up and that. As long as you look like you can take a decent picture, they'll just throw clothes at you to build your own folio. You get a good picture. Next minute, it's being published in all the Gothic magazines. It's all happening without you even trying. All right, you're not getting paid any money, but they're just giving you some clothes and you're shooting it and giving it back to them. When it comes to now them asking you, I never did anything for nothing. Because if a client doesn't pay you the first time, they will never pay. Best things like bands. We'll look after you as we get really big. So you shoot the Chili Peppers before anybody knows about them. All of a sudden they get a contract. They've now got $100,000 for photography. Let's find the biggest name photographer in the world. They're not going to drag you back out. You're the free one.
It's so interesting. In a past life, I was a sound engineer, and I used to play in bands and stuff like that. Recording engineer.
Yeah, you'd know exactly the same.
It was the same with recording engineers. They would work for free to record a band's album, do the whole thing. Band gets signed to Sony. Next album produced in a studio with a famous. They pick a famous, producer and sound engineer because they want to level up their sound. And you're like, okay, I guess that's how it is. Like you're the free guy. Most
people won't even know the band I'm going to mention, but there's a band called Dear Enemy, and the engineer that ended up doing our band, he used to be their engineer, and he'd only work with us when they weren't playing. And he was an amazing live engineer, like incredible. He'd make any shit room sound good. Mm-hmm. They got their record deal. They dumped him overnight.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And he'd do 3 or 4 gigs a week, only get paid for one of them.
Do you know the band? Do you know the band Parkway Drive?
Yeah, of course. I love Parkway Drive.
Yeah.
You used to engineer them?
No. Well, we did actually open for them once.
Cool.
Yeah, but I always have to say this. We organized. It was in Bendigo where I live, and we organized the gig and brought them to town. So we ran the whole thing. So we put ourselves on the show. So we didn't. I mean, we opened for them, but no one asked us to open for them. We decided we were open for them. Anyway, that's not what I was saying. They had an issue way early on when they were like just young, with one of their quad boxes for one of their guitar amps, and one of their fans and friends, ripped some electrical wire out of the wall, like from a power outlet plug, pulled the plug out, pulled the wire out, fixed the speaker cabinet. That guy, who was a apprentice Sparky at the time, is now their full production tour manager, like for their light shows, awesome. Pyro, everything. Wow. He has grown with them in his like skills and everything. As they got bigger, he got more skilled. As their shows got more complex, he got more capable, and he's still like that's the only time I've heard of those stories where they've
it definitely with them. No, it definitely happens the other way. My brother was our lighting guy for our band, and we were touring with Pseudo Echo for about 6 months as their backup. Wow. And they gave us half the PA and a third of the light show. My brother's fully self-taught on lighting, had no idea what to do. He just was a roadie for a bit, and then he started doing lighting. After the first night we did Pseudo Echo, their managers wanted to grab my brother as their lighting guy. And they would have taken him on completely unskilled, untrained and everything, only had half the lighting rig. He reckons he did so much better job than his super paid one. So it does work the other way when people see the skill.
Yeah. You just never know who.
Yeah, never know.
You never know how it's going to go.
Yeah. And I think that's a really nice loop back to the business card idea, that you never know who's going to be handed that card.
You never know.
It could be the job that sets you up for the rest of your life, or at least
you
gets
never
you on
know.
a pathway to it. Yeah.
People forget you never know who you're sitting next to.
Yeah.
And I was having a drink with a guy in a bar in LA. This is years ago, and we shouldn't have even been in this bar because we were trying to get back home. And all of a sudden, 2 hours has gone. I haven't paid for a single drink all night, and I've been talking to this guy that was so interesting. He turns out to be Madonna's hair designer, not the person who does the hairdressing. He designs the hair outfits and how the hair's going to be. And he's very close friends with Baz Luhrmann. The second he walked out of the bar crew, the bar was like a Coyote Ugly bar. It was a really cool night. But they ran straight, who are you? Who are, he doesn't talk to anybody.
Shit.
Right? So you never know who you're sitting next to.
Yeah.
So you just treat everybody as this could be a future client. You just don't know. So yeah, especially if you're running a business, and especially if you've got your business name on a car, never get road rage, never beep your horn.
Yeah.
No,
Let
they might
people
have cut
in,
you
you
off. And you go, that's all right, go for it, you idiot. But go for it.
It's so true. I quickly, before we get too derailed, I want to go back to talking about, you were talking about free shoots. So you would shoot for free when you would offer your services for free when you wanted to do that work. But if someone ever asked you,
if the client approached me, it's paid. Even if it was, I really, really, really want to do this job, I'll just say, look, I have to have these 2 lights. They're going to cost me $100 to rent for the day. Can you play for half of it?
Okay. Even if it was a little fee,
just some fee, get them used to paying.
okay.
Then they will always be used to paying for your service.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
But if you reach out to them and set something
if I'm
up,
reaching
and you're like,
out,
I have this idea, it's different.
So everything's worked in my favor beautifully with, say, Gallery Serpentine, which are quite a big, or not so much anymore, but they were pretty much industry standard for Victoriana, gothware, and things like that. I was surprised they even let me borrow some gowns because they're worth a fortune. Yeah. But she said, we've seen your work, I really love it. Yeah, you're welcome to, but can we have a couple of pictures? That's all it was. So they had nothing to do with the shoot. And we shot in his a very old cemetery in Sydney near Newtown, and it's decommissioned, which means I think the youngest grave's 150 years old.
Wow.
So there's no living, and as people go in there and have picnics on the gravestones, half the gravestones are collapsed and fall into holes and that. But we did this beautiful sort of Victoriana Gothic shoot in the graveyard in the middle of the day. And she just loved the picture so much. She then booked me to shoot her stuff for a catalogue. And it was a full page. Then 2 doors up the road from her was a latex company called Reactor Rubber. We booked out the RSL 2 doors up the road. I put down a white piece of seamless paper and shot their entire catalogue online. It was only because she said, this photographer here is in town for another couple of days. You should grab him.
Yeah.
And they were paid jobs. And then those photos, some of those photos became famous more in the fashion industry that then opened the door for me to get into more traditional fashion. But then I hate most of the traditional. I want to be the edgy, messed up stuff. So
yeah. And just with your body of work, let's talk about it at the moment and how maybe we can talk about how that's morphed over the years. But what's the percentage breakdown of where you spend your time, roughly? You talked about you've got a lot of private corporate work or commercial work. Sorry.
At the moment, right now, our books are closed. Right. So if someone sends an email or rings up, sorry, our books are closed, unless it's a client I've worked for in the past and I really like working for them. Literally, so where I can't work with art directors anymore. I can't work with stupid clients anymore. I just can't. I don't need to. If I want to retire, I could retire today. Yeah. I won't because I'd be bored.
What a good place to be in, that you can just do what you want to do.
But that's what that's what you should be aiming as a photographer. And if you look at even when we're talking to wedding photographers, I know too, they only do the weddings they want to do. They look at the type of client before they even let them, even before they say what they're going to charge. And then the wedding is shot the way they want it shot. And it's not like lots of weddings are the book is written before you even get in there. We're going to get this shot, this shot, this shot. We're going to put a light behind them and run a fountain in the background. We're going to do this. All of these things, which is not really their wedding day. It's a production shoot. The 2 photographers I know that make still amazing money, they walk in there with no idea in all what's going to happen. and they shoot it like paparazzi, and they have a ball, and they create things that are going to happen. They will stir something to happen, right?
Yeah.
They'll purposely say one of the bridesmaids, go down there and just tell the bride that she's got a rip in the back of her dress. So you imagine what the bride's going to do that split second. So he's got all these little bits of drama to get these really natural, beautiful shots. And then when the bride looks back at the photo, she goes, yeah, that's when the photographer figured told, right? There's a story behind it. Whereas that beautiful setup shot with the fountain in the background, all of that, they go, yeah, we had to stand there for 10 minutes while the photographer messed around with the lighting. You know,
doesn't mean anything.
The photos, don't,
That no one wants to do that. They want the cool photos, but they do not want their day to be a photo shoot.
100%.
Oh, some do.
Some do. Some think but they're the worst
that they do. Yeah.
No, one of my nephews got married, and everything was planned out to the T. Like the guests were sitting for 2 hours waiting for him to finish their photo shoot.
Oh,
it was on this cliff. It was a helicopter. It was this, and it was just
It's a production, like you say.
Yeah,
it is a production.
It's not a day.
The funniest thing of the whole, they did the whole champagne flute fountain. Where they
Tell me it fell down.
No, they set it all up, and they had the bride and groom doing it all to the camera with a crowd behind. So they weren't even looking at the crowd. All their friends and that were not even involved in this moment.
Yeah.
So it was just for the photo.
It was just the backdrop.
Yeah. People do some weird things.
Yeah,
I know.
That's
Weird
crazy.
Weird idea.
I wonder if that was the photographer that directed that too. That's
I would say it might have been 50-50.
Yeah. But it's a cool photo, but it's not. Yeah, it's what are we doing?
Yeah. So in what I'm saying is that person rang me, that would be sorry, our books are closed, because that is not the type of work I like to do.
Yeah.
If I get somebody else ring me and it might be a really low end budget client, but that'd be freaking awesome to do. How much scope have I got? How much freedom have I got? And the more freedom I get, the more I want to do it.
Yeah. So in the evolution of your career, the last 20 years, you have done a lot of commercial work that you say we can't see, and I can't find it anywhere. I looked. I've seen you. You mentioned cars, motorbikes, furniture. I saw on your studio tour you had these epic. I can't remember what they were called. The lights that are basically like on gantries in your roof.
Oh yeah,
giant.
That's called the Mega Light. That's a Mega Light.
Mega Light.
So that is 6.3 meters by 2.8 meter softbox.
I thought it might be close to 6 meters. I was telling you about it yesterday, and I was like, it was massive.
Did you have that custom made, or
no? It had 8 heads in it. It's still up there. It's got 8 heads in the top of it, and there's 4 Scoro packs up in the roof. It's fully tracked. It's all remote controlled. You can have it this way. You can have it stand on edge. We did a Lego spaceship, full rocket, 6 meter high rocket. And that's how we lit it. We set it like on side of the rocket and lit it from the side. Great for motorbikes, not as good for cars. It was great for motorbikes and furniture and things like that. Mm-hmm. It was originally in Sun Studios in Richmond, and it was worth about $120,000 when it came out. So that same with the Para that's sitting behind me. The Para sitting behind me is I think it was about $25,000 without a light or without the stand.
Wow.
So with the big one, not long after we got this place, Rod from Sun Studios came out and visited me, and we're having a chat. I already had heaps of lighting, so he just wanted to see the space. He rang me up one day and he said, our Mega Light? He said, we want you to buy it. I said, of course you do. What, your sales a bit low, is it? He goes, no, it's become a white elephant. It's because their ceilings aren't that high. Most of their rental didn't even want it in there because you can't just pull it down. It was taking height out of the ceiling. He said, if you pick it up, you can have it for $10,000. I said, hang on a minute. I can just take the lights, the packs, and sell it for 20 or 25. Let's do whatever you like. So we went there. It took us a day to dismantle it and remove it. And it then took us nearly 4 days to get it put in here, because it has to be laser leveled, because the little motors are just little welding motors. So they're really low power. So everything has to be perfect. And it cost me $10,000 hire of a truck, and then about 5 days of my time. So it was, and the same, the para behind me, I was doing a lot of beauty at the time. I just wanted to get the 180, 1.8 meter one for beauty headshots, get it right in close. So they're just literally flooded with light. And Rod said, "Oh, we've got the 3.3. I said, no, I just want, this is just for head. It kept on going on. Well, I'll bring you out the 3.3. And no, I said, don't bother with it. I said, I'm not. He goes, I'll sell it to you for $1,000 cheaper than the 180. So we'll bring it out then. He set it up straight away. I took 3 pictures of it, did two things, and took another 3 pictures. I told him to take the 180 away now. I never use it. And it's the best. The thing that people don't realize with the big paras, it's like a magnifying glass. And what I mean by that is, if you've got the sun and you're burning ants like you do with a kid, chasing ant around, trying to burn them, but you can put your finger halfway between, it doesn't burn, does it? It only burns where the focus. What I can do with that is have it back off the white cyc by about 8 meters, and I can overexpose the wall and not overexpose the white wedding gown halfway in between. Tell me any other light you can do that.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
I can throw the power of the light behind, because it's focusing. The parabolics are focused. Yeah. And it's not, when you see the actual pictures of it, or even if you just stand in there and turn the modeling light on, you'll see it's 16 dots. It's not just fully lit, it's just 16 dots. And as you walk back and forward, those dots move in and out. And as you wind your light in and out, the dots will move. And that's what's lighting you, that circle, not the whole dish.
Interesting.
Okay.
Look at me Googling the cheapest parabolic.
No, you don't. The problem is, once you get below, the 1.8s are all right, but they're not big enough to do what I'm doing. So
because you mainly have the distance.
Distance, yeah. You haven't got that width. What you mainly use it for, and I hardly do it anymore, is high key fashion. And it's when you're shooting, say if I was doing a bridal shoot and they wanted it on white. So I've got the tulle, I've got all the silk, everything. I can shoot that on white, and you can see every single bit of tulle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It takes me an hour to an hour and a half to set up that. I have 4 lights onto the background, which are bounced into V-flats. I then have an octa above. Then I have this thing sitting behind me. And then tuned in to light the dead center of them only, not to touch the walls. And literally, it takes me about an hour to an hour and a half to set that lighting up, and I've been doing it for years. You've just got to, the whole wall, I have to get the wall sitting at 254.
Really?
I go over my wall. I go over my wall with an eyedropper tool. If I can find 255, I have to adjust the lights. Because once you see 255, you don't know what it is.
Yeah.
It says no 256. Makes sense? A 254, I know I don't have a little hot spot on the wall, which is going to flare out some of the tulle.
Damn.
And all this technical stuff, I didn't learn this through YouTube. I didn't learn this. This is just hours and hours and hours of work.
Yeah. If
you want to be a great photographer, it takes time. There's no shortcut. As much as I would love to have shortcuts to learn, I'm about to start. I've been using Logic Pro for my sound work for years and years. I'm about to go on to Ableton. Oh my God, it's killing me. I'm doing what I tell everybody not to do. I think I've wasted 20 hours watching tutorials and watching all of these. I haven't spent a second actually on Ableton. Whereas I should be on there for 20 hours, then looking at.
Yeah, filling the gaps with YouTube.
It's just I want to get my cataloging and all of that set up right. And because I understand a lot of what they're talking about, it's just a different door that I'm working with. The same comes to anything you do in life. And I was watching YouTube the other day, and it was actually a sound engineer. And what he said at the end was just so true. Stop wasting time just reading books. Just do.
Yeah.
Quite often when I used to do lectures at some of the universities, they'd get me as a guest speaker. By the way, that doesn't happen anymore. Not one university will ever get me in anymore.
Why not?
Why?
Because most of the students say, how come Peter was here in an hour and we learnt more in 1 hour than we have in 3 years?
Yeah.
How come he said throw all these bullshit rules about rules of thirds and all of these, how many, what's your drop off, how many stops between highlights and shit? Who gives a shit? Does it look good? No, change it.
Yeah.
Use your eyes. People are going to be looking at the picture with their eyes.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I am. So there's one I did, I think it was at Swinburne, and I think it was about 200 students there. And at the end of it, I said, all right, so I'll give you a choice. I've got a big commercial shoot on tomorrow. You can come, I'll pick one person, a lucky person, can come and be a fly on the wall. You cannot ask me questions. You can't ask me anything. All you can do is just observe. Or you can come the day after. There'll be a model in the studio. You've got free access to all my gear, but I won't be here. And you can have the studio for the day with a hair and makeup artist and a model. Which one do you think everyone picked?
Observe you
second
for a
one.
day.
Right.
Did they?
So they see me grab the octa and move it about, that much. They can't ask me why. They look at the screen and can't see the difference. They see me go back and move it a little bit further. Then they see me go, yeah, cool. They can't see the difference, but they can't ask me. What are they learning? Nothing.
Mm-hmm.
But if they've got a great model and all the gear in the world and waste a day, you know how much you're going to
Learn
learn?
themselves. Yeah.
And they're going
Learn
to
by
learn,
doing.
and they're going to learn what they like, which is more important. And unfortunately, in photography, it's so much better in sound. And this is when I failed in photography university. I never wanted to do it. Parents, because I have dyslexia, and I have dyslexia quite bad. And back then, it was never heard of. Nobody knew what it was. And I only found out when I was 30. I actually have a condition. It's not just me being a dumb C. At the photography school, they would say something, and because I was so embarrassed about the amount of money my parents, and they couldn't afford it, they spent $20,000 back in the 70s.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's half a house
Yeah.
for this course. And I'm there knowing the dad's working weekend jobs and everything, and but he just didn't want me to be a bum. He didn't want me to be a muso bum. And I'm there and I'm not understanding a word, and I just say, why? And it was just, this is how it's done. There is no why. And I started saying, but why? And then the whole class started saying, but why?
Oh,
Great disruptor.
But yeah, but I was getting pissed off because I wasn't learning, and I knew how much my parents had spent. So we had this massive fight. It's an hour and a half drive from South Melbourne back to Heathmont back then. And finally got through to my dad's, anything in music, sound engineer, anything. And he goes, huh? I said, yeah, I'm happy to work in studio, whatever. I just want to work in sound. So he found a college. They'd already been going a month, but they'd accept me in. It now was a $4,000 3-year diploma course, a much different. On the second or third lecture, I've said to the lecturer, but why? And I go, oh, you idiot. And he said, see the door over there? I said, yeah. He said, go in there, try it, and come out and tell us why.
there you go.
No rules.
Yeah.
Think about it carefully. So you might be after a certain drum sound. Which drum sound? So that horrible thing that sounds like a bit of wood, 9 times out of 10 people say, that's horrible. One band wants that sound. So you have to be able to make anything. There's no right or wrong. It might sound like a basketball being bounced, but that's the sound they want. If you think about all the music, all the different drum sounds, there is no right or wrong, is there? So ability is to learn how to make every sound. With photography, we're not doing that at school. And I see it straight away. As soon as you show someone some indie photography, they just go, that is crap. There's no skill in that whatsoever. My God, indie photography is so hard to do.
Mm.
I just did a commercial shoot, even though my books are closed. I just did a commercial shoot. We spent 4 hours in a pub early in the morning photographing 3 guys in jocks. It's a new brand of underwear. It was all with on-camera flash.
Mm-hmm.
And the client wanted it overexposed.
Yeah.
The harsh shadow, literally overexposed. I said, no, we're not doing overexposed. I can push it later, but once we destroy skin, we can't put it back. If I just shoot it just short of, and you still want it blown more, I can do that in post.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Yep. Most people look at these photos and say, they look like crap. We purposely made it very vignetted with the way we use the flash. We purposely did the look we want. And when you look at it, it looks like some amateur in a pub with some piss friends. That's their client. That's what the look they wanted. And seriously, I find it's so much harder than if I had to light it perfectly. It would have been so easy.
Yeah.
It didn't need to be a Bonds ad.
No.
Yeah, they had a look. It's very popular at the moment. The on-camera flash, people even using film, on-camera flash film, overexposed. Yeah,
with the Instax too. They purposely build that look into one of the filter settings on the Instax cameras now.
Well, Ellen von Unwerth, I don't know if any of you are familiar with. That's her entire career, and she shoots the biggest models in the world. I guarantee you've seen her pictures. She shoots Rihanna. She shoots all the biggest names in the world. She shot the last, what's the name of that singer that you didn't like anymore? Came out here, Youngblood, is it? Youngblood's latest album cover? That's Ellen von Unwerth.
Okay.
Everything is on camera flash, and she's shooting Beyonce, Rihanna. She shoots everybody. She had Vogue covers, you name it, she shot it. And she used to be a pin-up style model when she was younger, and then she took on that sort of genre herself. She's an incredible photographer. I'm not sure how old she is. She'd have to be in her 60s, 70s at least. And you see her out partying all the time. She's always shooting with a little point and shoot now and then. But her photos are getting covers of Vogue.
Yeah.
Right? So it's your style is your style. Some people will like a type of music. Some people hate that type of music. Doesn't mean you're bad at it. It's just not your genre, your style. Yeah. So I can't look at anybody's photography and say it's shit because I don't know what they were trying to create.
That's a good point. Just before we move forward a little bit with this, there's a comment here from Dennis Smith at School of Light. Let me just bring it up and I'll read it out. Question, sorry if I missed this, and you touched on this at the start of the show, but maybe we can elaborate a bit more. As a relatively new photographer, I think I know why I want to lean into black and white. Can you describe what is special about black and white images for you?
The very first thing is, like I said, it becomes timeless. You can't, whereas if you can look at a picture and go, that's 80s, that's 90s, you can see the feel. Look how much teal and orange is in shit now, right? Look at the lighting you three guys have got behind you right now.
Yeah.
Am I making sense? That is so today. And that will change. In another 5 years, it'll have a completely different look. If you just look at cinema, we had the bleach bypass look for ages. Then, teal and orange, all these things, that's what color does. In black and white, it's just, and I'm black and white. I do not have any color in my photos. I don't save them as a grayscale. They're still RGBs, but they completely only got gray. You can move your eyedropper anywhere on my picture and it'll be equal parts red, green, and blue. So it is proper black and white.
Yeah.
And that's what I like the best. Black and white is so hard to do once you start doing it in color. But that's when you can actually have your style. That's why I will never, ever shoot black and white film again. And I'll never, ever buy a black and white digital camera.
I heard that on an interview you did a while ago that a monochrome camera, dedicated monochrome sensor doesn't interest you at all.
No.
And
You all got the same look.
because it's too limited in its post-production for your
You've only
style.
got this. Yeah, I can only change light and shadow. I can't change the tonality within the black and white. So I don't know if you've heard of Vincent Peters, an amazing photographer. If you haven't, anyone, look him up. He shot Charlize Theron. He shot some of the biggest people in the world. He predominantly shoots Mamiya, I think it's an RZ, with Kodak Portra 400. All his work's black and white.
Really?
Yeah, I only shoot Provia if I'm going to shoot film anymore.
Yeah.
So what I do, film doesn't work for me. I cannot get my photos with film. I am there linking with a model, and we're like this, and it's bang, there's the picture. I can't do that with film. My eyes aren't good enough to get that focus where I want it. I'm manual focus most of the time. On a digital, I got focus peaking. I can just be scrolling and sitting that friggin' peak on the catch light in her eye the whole time, and then, oh, there it is. So I'm chasing that look. If I was shooting landscape, not a problem. Shooting street, not a problem. I'd shoot film in a heartbeat. But what I have done, I've spent a couple of 100 hours shooting white walls, exposing them to 18% grey, scanning the film, and then built an overlay system that I can put any film grain, any vignette off any lens, and the vignette changes. So I've got film shot at f1.2, f2.8, right? And I can drop that onto my digital picture, and it works so well. I have got film friends that cannot tell the difference between something that was shot on my Hasselblad H6 digital or my Mamiya RB67.
I've never heard of that
grain.
I've got them sitting side by side, and they cannot see it.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah,
So
there's
just think,
many tools now that people would
do.
they would just do it digitally, like just add some grain in Lightroom or whatever.
That's not real. It's nothing like what real grain looks like. And every film stock, and if you push or pull that film stock, will change the texture of the grain. So it's all, and
crazy.
people think I'm crazy, but sorry, no, I'm
Not crazy
I'm
bad.
after a look, and I love that film look, but I can't do it with film. I'm not getting my fit pictures, so I can do it on my digital, but now I can make it look like film. I even did a tutorial showing how I could make my Hasselblad feel like it was a big view, large camera, an 8x10. By putting a tilt shift lens onto it and running it like bellows system and having it only sharp, running through the eyes a little bit. Then I've got some wet plate scans of 18% grey, which I can drop one of those wet plate scans over the top.
Man, you went deep.
Oh,
Excellent.
yes and no. If you would, so I've always taken my pictures from start to finish. There's photographers like Peter Lindbergh and most of the big name fashion ones. They take the picture and they never see it till it's finished. They have nothing to do with the way it's right. Every one of my clients, except for there's a couple of clients for big companies having a graphics department, and they would always just get the raws.
Oh, yeah.
But most of my clients got the finished picture, and it needed to look like my work.
Yeah. And I guess because you've touched it from start to finish, and you had that confidence that what the client is getting is exactly what you envisioned for them. Yeah.
Or why they booked me.
Yeah.
I've been digging into your Inspire platform, which if anyone is familiar with your work but hasn't gone on there, I think it's like $30 a month or something, very cheap. And it's got a lot of behind the scenes from photo shoots, retouching, all sorts of stuff, posing models, heaps of it's kind of like an extension of your YouTube channel. I see, like more in depth.
YouTube's just basically the advertising for it. That's all YouTube.
Exactly.
We shoot stuff just for YouTube, but YouTube's a pain in the butt. we used to make great money off that channel. We haven't
Really?
changed. Yeah, we were pulling 8,000-9,000 a month off that channel.
And the algorithm has changed or something. It's not showing
No,
as many
they've
people.
cut
or?
what they cut what they pay you.
Yeah.
They didn't tell any of us this.
Oh.
Yeah, they've got all their. Yeah, we're still getting heaps of views, but the revenue we make is so much less. And any reason that they can to demonetize you, they will.
Yeah.
But they'll still keep putting it up, making money out of it themselves.
Oh, they'll keep showing it with ads. They just won't give you the money.
Yeah.
But, it's crazy.
So all we do
They're
is now, if they demonetize it, we pull it off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we'll censor it and then put it back up censored.
To try and get.
Does that
so
happen
it
often with
doesn't-
your work?
It
Sorry,
used to happen
Jay.
a lot.
Yeah.
And there's no rule. One of the best big spec, we always fight them when it passes the robot. Now has been we because of we've got a reasonable following, we get a little bit more access than other people do. And we're talking to somebody and they said they've said it has been demonetized because of this frame. This frame is just a girl standing there with a shirt on. It's not see-through. There's nothing.
Yeah.
They're not allowed to look at that frame. So the person you're talking to said, no, sorry, we're not that department. That department's ruled it. We can't do anything about it.
Wow.
But you're looking at a frame, which is, they're saying this is the reason we've demonetized it.
Yeah.
I had one the other day. I do love my music and any excuse to write and play again, I do. So I have a series where I've got a whole heaps of bits of video of models and I write some music and then put it to it. And there's one of Lottie I put up recently and it was still set on private and it got demonetized in
I'm
private.
still on private.
Oh no, because there's the robots are still going to look at it.
So like do
So it's good.
pre-checks or whatever.
It's a good. We normally have
Okay.
3 or 4 videos already sitting up there on private that we haven't posted. So I put in review. It said, "No, we've classed this as inappropriate adult content."
Yeah.
2 days later, we've reviewed your work. It's fine. And I didn't ask for a third review because it said they'll only ever do 1 review. So I don't know what happened. I've put it up and I've keep on waiting for it to be demonetized. It hasn't. With those ones, I'm not as fussed because I've got a little area called My Stuff and anything that's in My Stuff was never there to make money. It was there to share. So one thing people don't realize, you can put full frontal nudity on YouTube. It's now just it's just rated R. The only people who can see it are people who are actually signed in. So if you're not signed in, you can't see it. If you're signed in, you can see it and you can view it.
Yeah.
Really?
There's a whole series of Helmut Newton behind the scenes that are there, but you can only see it if you know the link where it is. It's still sitting on YouTube. Just YouTube make it hard to find. But you'll find it yourself. If any of you are on YouTube, go to my normal page. You'll see an area that says My Stuff. There's a couple of videos there that have got full frontal nudity on there. There's a stop frame one where I've got one naked woman killing another naked woman.
But that's okay.
That's okay.
I was actually looking. I don't know if this counts because I was looking at your oldest videos because I always like to do that when I'm having someone on the show. I like to if they've got some sort of channel or I like go back just to see what was going on. And the Rara one from like 11 years ago, which is it's like stop motion-y with the stuff going on. And she's wearing a top, but it's very much like sheer see-through sort of stuff. And I was like, I didn't think YouTube would allow that,
But if you sign out, you won't be able to see that video.
Interesting. Okay.
But I think you should see that's rated for 18 plus adult content.
Okay.
But
it's very cool too. I really like that. It was slightly
did you
creepy
pick
and very.
Did you pick up the video camera's just sitting on a tripod? It didn't move the entire shoot.
No, I didn't.
The other thing we're doing is this was shot at night time. We were using that large octa that was on a boom over, and we just swing the boom to lighter and swing it back out to unlighter. Then we're flashing with triggers. That's where you'll see out of sync lines running through. That's us firing the flashes off.
Interesting. That's not how I guessed it was produced. I thought there was a lot of still images.
No stills at all.
Really?
In fact, this was for a commercial campaign, and what we did, we shot the video first because I can copy anything that's done in video with a still, whereas I can't copy anything shot with a still in a video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
then any of the effects we liked, I could then reproduce those stills. We came back 2 days later and did the stills.
The stills.
Yeah.
If anyone wants to see this, I can't pull it up because we aren't, I don't know, 18 plus. We'll get
No.
kicked off.
If
But
you put a link, you might get a strike for that.
yeah, so just go to
my stuff.
Peter Coulson's if you just go to all videos and then go to oldest, it's the first rah one that you'll see from 11 years ago.
You have to be
Very
signed.
cool.
Or you
Very
can
exciting.
jump onto my website, and all my videos, all of those type videos are on my website under videos.
And yes, and so if you go to Inspire, if you do want to try it out, so someone's mentioned here, who is it? Wookie, Shane. Inspire is the best value online learning platform around. Yeah, it's not expensive, and
There's a lot of content.
and you can just see everything and click around and follow your nose as to what you want to look into and learn about. But I really
best way
like
to use it, we tried to have it for a reason. The workshop things just came about. I didn't ever plan to do it. I did some stuff for Hasselblad. Next minute, people wanted me to do workshops. They saw me on stage with them. I know they're expensive. We can't do them cheap. Models cost us a fortune. Studios cost us a fortune. Flying, all of that. So the Inspire was for the people who don't have that sort of money. And we said, all right, so the people who got enough money and don't want to have to worry about it can just get a yearly, and it's a bit cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
The people who not sure if they want, just can go on for a month, and then when they don't like it anymore, just cancel it. We tried to make cancel as easy as possible. And then there's the people who are really, really tight, because we have some people that literally got 3 kids, a wife, and only one salary. They're struggling like hell. They might save up for 3 or 4 months, go on for 1 month, binge like crazy, like sign up for a month and then cancel straight away. So they've still got a month. They don't have to worry about unsigning. Mm-hmm. And then they can binge like crazy, come back in 6 months. We haven't removed any content. We try and get something up there every 7 to 14 days. Something like reasonable, not just a little 5-minute video like there's of an 8-minute video. It's on YouTube. We normally aim at least one video of 20 minutes. If not, some of them go 3, 4, 5 videos, which for that particular thing over a period of time. But it is meant, and not enough people use it how I want them to use it. It is meant to watch that video, now go do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Learn, then do. That's how. And then what you'll do, you go do it and go, oh, I don't like what Peter did, but when I do this, it's so much better. Bang, that's the whole idea of it.
Yeah.
I don't want you to be a mini me. I want you to be your own photographer.
It's a starting point, isn't it, for people?
That's actually why I brought this up in the first place, is you had a recent video on there, a bit of a rant about style that I really enjoyed, and I wanted to revisit it on the podcast for people that haven't seen that video. And I think there's also a version of that video on YouTube as well. So you can
I had to censor it because YouTube
didn't like it.
I don't like censoring, but I still thought the message was strong enough to put on YouTube and censor it. So
yeah, can you tell us revisit that a little bit? Your thoughts on developing your own style and what? Yeah, tell us.
So one of the easiest way for me to put it is, I guarantee all of you can cook, can't you? Even if it's just eggs on toast.
Steak,
right?
Good steak.
Yeah. So if I went round to your place to have a steak with you, you don't know how I like my steak. You don't know how much salt I want or how much pepper, if I want garlic. You don't know anything how I like it. So how can you cook for me? You know exactly what you like. So if you're making a sauce to go with it, you're going to be tasting it, hopefully not putting your finger back in there, but you're tasting away. You know, that's seasoned just to my taste, right? You can't season it to my taste. You can only season it to your taste. Is this starting to make sense?
Yep.
So now we take this to photography. how can you take a picture? How can I take a picture for you? Or you, or you. I can't take a picture for any of you. I can only take a picture for me. It's got to be what I like. It's if I'm an artist, I'm going to paint. Every brush stroke's going to be my decision that I want to put that line there. And the more that you can get your photography to actually be you and forget the rules. Like Bec put up a picture on Instagram last night. It's a stir picture, but it's a picture of Bec naked on a beach with a YSL bag on her. And we talk about this on workshops. And I think it's also in this thing that when you bring it up, everyone's going to say, or every technical photographer is going to go, oh, look at the horizon, it's crooked. I'm not photographing the horizon, I'm photographing Bec.
Yep.
It's funny. I saw that picture. I didn't even notice.
I didn't either.
Thank you.
I didn't notice at all.
Good, because you've just told me you're actually a true photographer. You're not a camera club style photographer. You're not trying to analyze. You're just the photo. If you look carefully, Bec's bum and Bec's feet are parallel with the bottom. The YSL bag is parallel with the bottom. Her eyes are parallel with the bottom. So she is perfect square. I'm not taking a picture of the ocean. I'm taking a picture of her. In the workshop, I think even in the tutorial, I've tilted it to straighten up the horizon. And what happens, you fall off Bec. If you look carefully, see how the horizon draws you into her eyes. You're falling into her. As soon as you level that horizon, you literally fall off her. And there's another picture I've got, which is a Tess, an Italian model, laying on a bed. And number one, I didn't even notice. I don't think it's on Quick and Easy on here. It's definitely on my website. With Tess on the bed has got a slight lean, and I never noticed there's an IKEA label inside the pillow case. Right, so I photographed it. I selected the picture, I retouched it, and I posted it. Never saw the IKEA label. So did it bother me? No. So because it didn't bother me, why would I take it out? With my skills in Photoshop, I could have pulled it out in a second. But it did not bother me. That was the pillow she was sleeping on. If I'd seen it, I could have easily flipped the pillow. So that's the first thing people say. The next thing is the tilt. As soon as you make it level, the picture just loses its soul completely. It looks boring. My most favorite picture for this, and I knew the second I took it, there was an LA model in the studio. She was on the wall behind me. We're trying to do something a little bit like there's an Irving Penn style of shot. It has been up on, have we put it on Insta recently? The foot? Yeah, maybe if you look down, you'll see a naked girl on the cycle with the foot sticking out her bum. So when I was taking the pictures, I've taken that frame. I've got, oh my God, I'm going to get crucified tonight. And she's laughing and saying, well, why? I said, I love this picture so much, but I am going to get crucified. So I put the picture up, and first comment, the foot. Second comment, what about the foot? Third comment, the dirty foot. Oh, the foot. Every comment was coming up, the foot. Then some lovely person on Facebook decided to copy the picture, edit the foot off, and repost it for me. It didn't bother me. Everyone's attacking him. I told him, leave him alone. It doesn't bother me. I actually love what he just did, because everyone just all of a sudden said, oh, picture just looks boring now. It needed that foot. That foot was the thing that made the picture unique. And it's because of my messed up sense of humor. And again, I'm shooting more for fashion. I'm not trying to take pictures to turn men on. I'm trying to take pictures that women want to look at. Right? So with Boudoir and as everything has to be perfect. The skin's got to be perfect. It's got to look like this plastic doll on a bed. Whereas I'm much more into fashion. If you look at the high-end fashion, I'm not talking, Vogue's actually quite low-end fashion. Some of the high-end magazines like Numero, ID, VW, magazines like that, that's when you see the real work in fashion. And if I mention some of the top fashion photographers, 90% of the people never heard of them. It's funny how few photographers even know about, people like Show Studios, Nick Knight. Right? Nick Knight had a Pearl under calendar. You don't get a Pearl under calendar unless you are the top in the world that year.
Mm.
He is an incredible. He's done so many music videos. All right, he warps and Photoshop destroys things like crazy. He's the most amazing artist. He's shot every major campaign and model in the world. And for a long time, I don't know if he's still got it, his studio has a live camera feed out of his main studio.
What?
Just a webcam running all the time.
Yeah, I watched a couple. There was one with the cover of a magazine was being shot. It was Cara Delevingne. There was 3 amazing big models in there. And they're all in there. I'm watching this live, and they had multi-cameras on. You could actually click which camera you wanted to see, right through to the monitor.
That's cool.
And
That's
the picture,
really,
the thing was really cool. So Cara Delevingne was in this like sheery type of top, this little undies, and she was doing a pose where she was putting her little pinkies into her underwear like that, and then pulling them out side on. So she's doing this, and all of a sudden, snap, the undies came off. She turned around to the camera, did a peace sign over her bit, and one in there or somewhere like this. They ended up the cover of the magazine.
Really?
And you got to see it happen live.
Yep.
Wow.
So these things that I love art. I love crazy talented photographers. Even if it's not my style, just watching them create, watching them use their mind. The minds like David LaChapelle's early stuff was just to die for. How he got those people to do what they did, super famous people, to be so crazy out there on a photo shoot. Yeah, that's my passion. But a lot of that talk was about understanding your photos. The more you can make your photos the more you are going to have a style. The more you don't look at it and go, oh, I need to fix this.
Yeah.
Why did you click it? You obviously liked it when you clicked it. Right. There's certain things I will fix. Oh, shit, I didn't see that. But I see them not long after I've taken the shot. But the amount of times people are going through, analyzing their picture and then applying everybody else's rule to your picture, this AI shit is really bad for those people.
Yeah.
And the one thing I don't get, I'm seeing more and more photographers posting AI pictures.
When you say generated by AI, or they're starting to mimic AI's style because that
generated by AI.
Oh.
Yeah.
Right. So we've got a Facebook group, and we ban AI pictures, and the amount of photographers who've had to remove off because they keep putting AI pictures up. Because that's the only way they can take a decent picture is create it with AI.
Yeah.
Beck and I had fun the other day. I think it's on YouTube. Pretty sure it's on YouTube, or part of it, the big part's on Inspire. We found some AI pictures, and I copied the lighting.
I was watching that. It is on YouTube. There's a
it was so much fun to do because I looked at lighting a bit differently. I had some hot spots. I love hot spots. Let's mimic and try and copy the AI. I just didn't then do the photo retouching to make Bec plastic. I wanted to keep the soul of the picture, just steal the essence of what the AI picture had done and now make it real. And I've made a concerted effort since just before Christmas, I really made a concerted effort into looking at my retouching, and I've dialed my retouching back by 50%, literally.
Interesting.
I've got a now new area that, all right, I ignore those. I ignore this. I ignore this. Yeah, I'm going to fix these.
Yep.
So we've had retouching's been done since the start of film. All these people say, oh, it's not traditional. Sorry. The amount of retouching was done in film. I know one of my relations was a film retoucher.
Yep.
And she used to color film, and she used to remove blemishes and do all of that stuff.
So this is going to sound dumb because I shoot a little bit of film now, but I wasn't around in the professional days of film photography. How does film retouching work? Like, how do they remove blemishes?
You've heard of airbrushing?
So it is just that, literally that.
It's painting. It's
Painting.
once it's some work can be done on negatives, very little. Most of the work's done on the finished print.
Okay. So
The
simple.
magazines used to have to do it all the time, and they can do head swaps and everything. You'd be surprised what they could do. They used to be able to put in product into the photo.
Just paint it in.
Cut and paste.
Or do special masking with negatives. It's, lots and lots of tricks. It's very high end. Look at the dodging burning. There's if you do a search on the famous James Dean picture in New York, look, it's got the dodge and burn chart for it, and you're just going to go, no way. Someone has to sit there and do this much in here, then this much here. The skill of those people was incredible. But that picture didn't work the way Mother Nature gave it to the photographer. He needed to lighten areas and darken areas to make that picture work better.
And we're just on an evolution from something that was quite difficult to achieve, a real art form and technical problem, to then, early days of Photoshop, still quite technical and things, but a little bit easier to access for people. And then it got easier and easier, and now the tools are more and more automated. And then now there's the fully automated versions. Like I've been playing around with that AI software that got in a lot of trouble recently for the headshot thing. I don't know if you heard about that. Avoto.
Yes.
Yes, you heard about that. But I've been playing around with that, and it kind of does. I mean, I'm sure you would probably look at it and go, it's very surface level automated, but it kind of does what it says on the tin. You put a photo in it, and you can use a slider to remove blemishes or whatever, and you're like, oh, I'll just do 70% blemishes. It's.
Have you actually zoomed in at 100, past 100%, and have a look at what has done to skin?
No, because I don't do. Right. I actually played around with it for our podcast thumbnail headshots. But I wouldn't. I don't think I would use it for. I don't do like high end people photography in studio and stuff like that. So I haven't tested it on anything that I would be worried about, whether it's, because I'm assuming it's changing. I mean, but also Lightroom's doing that too. If you use their AI. Removal tools and stuff now, it's just doing it at one instance at a time, as opposed to grab someone's whole face and detect blemishes.
What's really interesting, and people might say I've got too much time. I'm not a technical person, but I seem to know friggin' heaps. But one of the biggest things I learned was you get a film grain picture, you take it into Photoshop, and then you make a zigzag curve or a solar curve. If you don't know what it is, just type it. You'll find it on the internet. It's a zigzag curve. And when you turn that on, it brings up every blemish, every dust spot. It shows you all your problems. So it's like a referencing. So you bring that up on your film, and you can grab a heal tool. You could grab your clone stamp tool, any tool you like. And you use it on your bit of film, and you're going to go, oh, what did that just do? The solar curve is going to show you the damage that you don't really see until it's blown up to 2-3 meters. There's a video we did many years ago with Rara in lingerie in the streets of Melbourne at night. And I think right near the start, you'll see me with somebody, and there's a big window. I think it was Dior window, and we're pointing, looking at a picture. That guy was Damon Rulak, who was head of Hasselblad in Australia. And I was pointing out every heel tool mark on the picture.
Really?
And Damon's going, surely they would have seen that. And I said, no, 90% of photographers have got no idea what a heel tool mark looks like. What does a heel tool do? Grabs the texture, not the color, and you place that texture, and then it feathers it out to match back into the other. You've created an out of focus donut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And once you can see what they look like, you can see them everywhere. So heel tools are great in out of focus areas. They're terrible in focused areas. Another thing a lot of photographers do, they're hung up on this sharp crap. Sharp has been brought in by camera manufacturers, nobody else. The greatest photographers in the world's pictures aren't sharp. Most of the photographers I know don't care about sharp. I never sharpen my RAW, ever. Never, ever.
Never.
No, why would
Never
you
on the
sharpen?
output.
No, on the RAW.
Oh, sorry. I see what you're saying. So you would sharpen specifically for the output. So say if it was getting printed at a certain size or
Yes,
being
the
used
only
digitally or
sharpening.
something.
Yeah.
Okay.
My finished pictures are layered TIFF, non-cropped and non-sharpened. I never crop my main picture and I never sharpen it. Then I have a client that wants it 2 meters high by this, and it's going to be printed on matte paper. I will either leave that to my printer to know how much sharpening to put on that's going to be lost in the printing process. If I'm going to put it on the web, I'm going to use my little sharpening formula, which is a 0.4 sharpen for web. I even do it on my own pictures because the web seems to just take the edge off. All it does is put it there so it can be taken back off and it looks the same. I can look at a picture on my screen and look at the same picture on the internet and they look the same. I don't want it sharper than. I don't use sharpen for sharpening a picture sharper than how it was taken.
Yep.
Now, as soon as you start to do sharpening, you're now going to, especially if you sharpen your RAW, when you start to use healing and things like that, you're going to make the donuts even worse.
Yeah, because
you're going to have sharper
accentuating
skin.
it.
It's accentuating it.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, too many photographers don't print their work.
Yeah.
Even you guys, when was the last time you printed something?
I bought a nice little Canon Pro 1100 last year specifically for that reason, because Jim and I used to share a printer, an A2, like an Epson 3880 when we were working in the same office, and so we had this thing sitting there. We were printing it for clients, so you could semi-regularly print your own work. And then once I detached myself from that and it wasn't in my office anymore, you just don't get around to it. And so now I need to have it sitting in the office because I don't get the bug to like send it off to a printer. I need to do it when I want to do it. I want to see the product. Yeah.
Fully understand that. But I tried to say that, I've got printers in my studio as well. So I've got a commercial printer. He has my hard drive. Yeah. So I update the hard drive with him. I can just send him an email, print this at this size.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. I can just say, we travel a lot. We're up to 6 months a year overseas. So if a lot of people don't realize that everyone thinks of, how does he make your money? You're just thinking about people paying me to take a photo. You're not thinking of people who see one of my photos and want to buy the usage of that photo or want to print that photo for himself. That's where half of my money comes from. 30 years worth of photos, you build up a pretty big library of stuff that people want.
Yeah.
I try and say to people, I'll just quickly finish. I try and say to people, you should go once a month, go through everything you've shot and retouched and pick the picture you're going to print, then print it. And then enjoy looking at it on paper.
Yep.
My sim room it's wallpapered in. Like I literally use blue glue and stick the pictures on. I hope I never have to sell a house. We'll have to replaster the place. But literally, the pictures are just stuck on, and whenever I'm feeling a bit flat and down, I just walk in there and start looking around the walls, and all of a sudden you just, oh my God, I remember that. Oh my God, I can't believe I took that.
Yeah.
It just brings the joy of your photos back to yourself. It's like you cooking a steak. Your first mouthful, you go, yeah, this is why I don't eat out.
It's actually getting a bit shit because I haven't had a good steak out for a long time now. And then whenever I do risk it and it's not that great, you're like, I don't know.
Bec literally hates me because before she started working with me, she could eat anywhere and enjoy the meals. She can't because I cook steaks, I do pizzas, I do smash burgers better than anybody can. Because I'm so fussy about anything I do. Now every time we're traveling, in fact, last time I went to Europe, we started cooking in Airbnbs, cooking at home because the food was better than we could buy.
Yeah. Yep.
Watch Jim's face when I ask you this question. How many barbecues have you got?
I've got 3. Oh no, 4.
What are they? Because
So
I've got 5.
And you've sold about 5.
Yeah, I've sold 5, and I've currently got 5.
If it wasn't me trying to stop gear acquisition syndrome happening with my barbecues, I would have a most likely 7. I would have definitely had I would have an Argentinian grill, which I don't have.
Cool.
I really would love, but I'm only going to use it 2 or 3 times a year. But I've got a proper Blackstone barbecue for doing stuff like burgers and that stuff on. I've got my Primo, which is like the green egg, but I got the big oval one of those. I was going to get myself an offset smoker, but why? The Primo does such a good job of it.
Yeah.
And I can do a 10 to 12 hour brisket and really hardly have to touch anything. It'll just hold that temperature.
Yep.
Every now and then I might have to open the door of that a little bit. So, and then I've got my little Japanese hot coals barbecue, which I normally cook. That's normally only pulled out once a year for Christmas. I cook everyone's meal on that at Christmas time.
That's cool. So,
I've been looking at those too.
Yeah, the little
charcoal
ones.
One about
Japanese
that long
grills.
and get good barbecue. You've got about 4 hours of stinking hot coals. So our Christmas day is just, we'll do some steaks on there. Now I'll do a bit of chicken, do some prawns. We just keep coming back to it.
So I've bought and sold a lot, but I'm currently running. I've got a wood offset that I don't use very often because you got to nurse it all day. It's like it is a lot of work. They don't hold their temp anywhere near as well as your egg thing, your Primo. But I've got as well as that, I bought a Weber's newest pallet smoker, which is actually surprisingly good considering it's a pallet smoker. It does a good job, and it's fully automated. I can throw it on and work all day and just check the meat every now and then. And then the Weber's version of the Blackstone thing, the griddle, which is what I cook all my steaks and everything on that now.
My steaks, most people, we got a 5-day workshop coming up. Everyone who comes gets my steak on the 5th day, and they are horrified when they see me make it. So if I'm at home and got plenty of time and we can have the steak whenever I want, they'll go into the Primo under smoke at a low temperature, get them up to an internal temperature of 49 degrees, pulled off, and then I have a flame thrower.
No.
Not a petrol one. I have it's like what they use on the roads to melt the bitumen. It's just right. So it's 10 seconds aside.
Really?
Yeah.
That's it.
That's it. So you're cooking the meat is perfectly cooked throughout with a bit of a nice smoky taste, and literally 10 seconds of that, you've charcoaled the outside, but when I'm not restricted for time, whereas I can decide any time within an hour to have the steak within 5 minutes, I got a sous vide. So I'll sous vide them. Right, so they'll be again brought up to just this exact temperature, and then when they're ready, just dry them on there, same thing. The amount of everybody here at the workshop flame for them. Yep.
Wow.
Do you prefer
sous vide or Primo? If you could pick one or the other for your steaks for the way you like to eat them.
The Primo, just that slight smokiness that comes in. This is supposed to be a photography channel. It always happens.
I saved it till the end. I saved it so I didn't derail the interview. But I was like,
I did forget one other barbecue. I've also got a pizza oven, a wood fire gas pizza oven.
Nice.
I got the Gosney, the large Gosney.
Nice.
So the good thing with gas, you can just do it whenever you like. If you want to get the temperature up with gas, then you can just throw a little bit of logs in the back corner and get your smoke into it. So it's a cheats way of doing it. But my pizza takes about 1 minute 20. That's it, cooked.
Yes.
Yeah,
I've got the little mini one. Yeah, the guys
got the mini
bought me
one
for my 40th. Yeah, the little portable Gosney one, like but it does great. Like it's
that's fine. Awesome. I did have one. Then my daughter has it, so whenever I go to the daughter's place, I have to cook pizzas for them. But see, I spend 4 days. It takes me 4 days to make my dough. My tomato sauce takes about 4 to 5 hours.
Okay, that's commitment.
You know, I do.
sauce.
I've got a proper dough mixer, and I used to do it by hand, but now I use the mixer because it does it better. But yeah, it's a whole thing of I decide if I'm going to do Polish first or bigger. If you haven't done it, they're a fermenting thing, so that goes back into the fridge for 1 to 2 days, then comes out, goes through the mixer, back in the fridge for another day, comes out, then gets divided up, shaped up, and then it's usable for the next 2 days. But it goes back in the fridge.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm hungry now.
Yeah, me too. This is so. Look, I was looking at that workshop that you've got coming up. If someone happens to get violent food poisoning beforehand and you need someone to step in, I'm ready. I'm ready to go. I saw that workshop. I was like, damn it! I had no idea that was coming up.
It sells out
it sounds epic.
It sells out every year. It does. It's because it's in my studio. It's 5 days. It's a small group, 10 people. They all get to know each other. There's a lot of everything's easy and flows. It's just so much. Everyone becomes friends to know each other. And we're working with my models. We get a couple of models I have never worked with before, so people can see how I deal with that. But it's just we've tried to run it in other places. We used to be able to run it in Brisbane. There's a guy up there who had a massive studio, and I had the same ability to run lots of shooting areas at the same time. We tried to run it in London. It just gets too hard. A lot of studios are very boring after 2 days, where I've got all the movable walls and all of that type of stuff, so we can keep it fresh.
Bit of a playground, it sounds like.
But unfortunately, it does sell out every year, and it sells out quicker than Tomorrowland.
I'll email Bec about getting Jim and I on the list for 2027 on the waiting list.
Very
see how we can go. Because we saw it and we're like, we 100% would have both gone. That would have been great.
If I decide not to do America this year, we might run another one towards the end of the year.
Ooh. I wanted to ask you about your workshops, especially your international ones. Do you notice a difference between how photographers approach their craft based on location? You go to London, you go to Berlin and Amsterdam, and obviously you do a lot of work here in Australia. Do you notice any fundamental differences between photographers as they approach the same craft?
There's a percentage of places where you do see the creativity of the photographers a lot more. And then there's other places, a little bit like America, tend to get very much more the camera clubby thinking. Very set with their rules and 3-point lighting and all of that. The whole idea is the workshop is not to me to change who you are as a photographer in the way of you can be high saturated color, you can be whatever you like. That's not what the workshop's about. We spend on the first day we spend an hour, and I call it breaking the photographer, showing you all the rules and showing you I broke them and the picture's still fine.
Yeah.
So trying to get the photographer back to like what that rant I had, trying to get the photographer back to realize that you're really taking photos for yourself, not anybody else. And take what you love. Don't listen to other people saying, oh, where's the catch light in the eye? Oh, I don't like that shadow. Oh, if you like it, that's how it should be. That's your style.
Yeah.
So we do that for the first hour just to get them in. I then show them lots of famous pictures that have broken all the rules. Then I'd show them the most famous picture in the world, most famous photo in the world. I'm not going to name what it is because you already know what it is. And I say, amazing light, isn't it? And so look at the incredible retouching. Look at the camera he must have used and the lens he must have used are just through the roof. None of them. And it's the most famous picture in the world. Do you know what picture I'm talking about?
I'm worried to guess.
Portrait. Most
Afghan
famous.
Girl?
Yes.
Yeah.
What
Now
did you
look
say,
at
Justin?
that. The Afghan
Afghan
girl.
girl.
Steve
McCurdy,
Have a look at that. McCurry, sorry. Have a look at that picture. Yeah, sorry, dyslexia. Have a look at that picture and you look at the lighting. You look at the retouching. You look at what camera it would have been. And you're just going to say, it could have been any camera. The lighting's just what it is. There's no retouching. So get back to taking that photo. That's the photo. It's the subject. And photography when I'm not talking landscape, I'm not talking about still life, I'm not talking about street, I'm talking about what I do. Fashion, portraiture, and art. Mm-hmm. And I try, so then I start off the first day is the most important to me. The people who don't do the first day in the studio and just want to do the advance, to me, they're dumb, because the learning's the first day. The second day is just showing an extension of it. Most people don't understand how light works. And it's amazing when I show one bit of lighting, and as soon as I take my first picture, I just look at everyone and go, who expected that picture? And point at the picture. I'm just going to go, nah, never thought you'd get that picture from that light. And I say, that's why you're here. See, you don't understand how light works. And I try and dumb it down as much as possible, make it as simple as possible so everybody can understand. And it's amazing, by the end of the first day, they just go, all this lighting was so simple, but I learned so much. Mm-hmm. I don't need 40 lights. I don't need to have all these different diffusers. If I learn to use this one light properly, I can do anything. Yeah. And it's more pushing it.
Sorry, Peter.
No, you're right.
I was just going to say, what is kind of like the skill level and the temperament of the people that are coming to your workshops in general? Are they beginners?
We ask, right through. We ask, if you can't shoot in manual, learn how to be manual and come back next year. Yeah. So all I'm saying is, we want you to at least know, get it off aperture priority, shutter or any of those things your camera takes control of. Just so you know, I never use any of those and have never used any of those in my commercial work, ever. And I'm talking about nighttime shooting, fashion shows, catwalk shows. I've never, ever used a priority. It's always been manual. Mm. And once you learn that, you'll never go back, because the camera never gets it right. If you go into aperture priority and go shoot an event, you'll get into Lightroom and bring this picture up, this picture down, this picture up, this, right? You go to my event, every picture is exactly the same. Mm. So we're teaching more to get, so people come in that level. We have pros come in. Guys have been running studios for 10 years and not happy with their lighting. Yep. They're feeling their lighting is soulless. It's like what you learn at university. And it's a little bit like what I started with. I have a storyboard which I keep adding to. Every time I see a nice picture, save, dump. And I think there's about 5,000 pictures in there now. In my early days, I'd every now and then throw one of my latest bits of work into that storyboard, and they would always stand out, which meant I wasn't there yet. My work wasn't good enough to sit next to the work I loved. Mm. And what that taught me there's 3 levels of polishing. And most photographers don't do any of those levels of polishing, and that's the difference between Peter Lindbergh, Patrick Di Michelia, all those greats. Their picture is polished from the start, whereas most of the photographers aren't doing that. They set up the lighting. Oh, that's nice. Click, 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 click. That's it. Never would I work that way. That light's going to morph the entire shoot. I'm going to be slightly changing it right through the shoot, just slight. Yeah. But I'm going to take 10, 20, 30 minutes to get it polished. So it's the amount of times that even on a workshop, I'll do a setup and then one goes, oh, that's nice. I said, yeah. Nah, you watch. 20 minutes. You won't even like that lighting anymore. But see, all of them would have stopped at that point. Mm. No, there's my starting point. There's my starting point. I need to polish that. So once I finish polishing my light, the model comes in. I polish the model. Put on the right music, get her into the right mood, talk to her the way to get the type of picture we would get out. Work on that to get that. And I'm working on one frame. Most of my shoots is for one frame, an album cover, the cover of a magazine. You get paid the most for those. 3 pictures inside a magazine, it's not even worth it. I want the cover, right? So I don't mind shooting 2-3 hours to get that killer shot. Yeah. Why would I show anyone the second best shot? Right? So that's how my mind thinks. So once I've got my shot and I've decided this is my killer shot, then it goes into Photoshop and not over Photoshopped. When you learn, you tend to go into Lightroom, Photoshop, and go, oh, I wonder what that does. I wonder what that does. I wonder what that does. You slide things around. You play with other people's actions. You do all of that stuff. Not with me. I can tell you what I'm going to do before I've even started. I'm going to say, I want it more contrasty, but I want to see more detail in the shadows. So I'm going to bring my shadows up more. Then I'm going to throw some contrast on there. I'm going to try and get a halo over this area. I'm going to vignette off there. I know exactly what I'm going to do to the picture before I start touching it. So it's not like, let's see what happens. It's, I know what I'm doing. And that's that polishing, because then it's your style. You already know. And I do get annoyed with people who buy action sets, because all you're doing is putting somebody else's, like Peter McKinnon's look on your photo. That's not your photo anymore. You know, Sean Archer look on your photo. That's a Sean. The amount of people I've seen use Sean Archer stuff and put it up and goes, oh, it's a Sean Archer picture. No, it's his look on.
Yeah.
Right? If you want to learn your stuff, you might grab some actions and play them. Now manipulate that action to your look and then save it now as your look. But I don't even like actions in that way. I don't have an action for a look. I have an action from a Photoshop. And it's a healing layer. It's the solarized curve. There's a dodge and burn layer, which is just a curve, a very small curve. And that layers are blacked out. So your mask, I'm painting on the mask with a white brush at 1% flow. 1%. I never take it off 1%. So every brush stroke is only 1%. Above that, I have a cutting layer, which is more like traditional dodge and burning. Above that, I have a gradient map layer, which is a way of adding contrast linear through the picture. And then I have a curve layer sitting above that, which has got nothing on it. It's at the end, I might put a curve and then paint the curve partly out of the picture again. That's it. That's my action. If you turn my action on and off, the picture does not change until I start working on my layers. So all it's done is put all my layers I want to work with. I might add layers later on, but they're just all the layers I normally want to work with. And then I just start working. After my little bit of meltdown before Christmas, I've got an average, what I'd call high-end retouch, something I'm happy to print 2 meters high, is now down to about 5 to 7 minutes.
Yep.
And I'm fully happy with it. And I've shown a couple of people, here is a 20-minute retouch, and this is my new retouching. And they'll go, it's more soul on this one.
Yeah.
And that's the one with the less retouching. And it's separating me away from AI. Because I guarantee you, all of you already seeing, you're starting to see AI.
Absolutely.
Oh,
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So do you want your pictures to feel like, oh, is that AI or not? So it doesn't feel real.
Exactly.
I was watching a great movie the other day and it was completely wrecked by CGI. Like Frankenstein. Loved the new Frankenstein. They didn't even need to show the scene of the wolves attacking the sheep. It looks so fake.
Yeah.
They could have just had a scene showing all the dead sheep. It would have been better than what they did. And unfortunately, this is what AI is doing. The only thing I like about AI, I love all these people putting bikinis on elbow. I'm loving the funny stuff. I'm loving anything that happens. It's like the Billie Eilish thing. There's some massive ones came out from there. I'm just loving the comedy shit that people are doing with it.
Yeah, people able to express their humor through it quickly without having to have Photoshop skills or whatever to make their humor. They can just do it straight away. Yeah,
Bec uses a bit on our podcast because our podcast is just a podcast. It's only a thumbnail. And, we've had a couple where, we wanted Bec to be a DJ and me to be on the people in the crowd. And she just grabbed 2 pictures into banana, bang. Oh my God, it looks so real. So for that side of things, nano bananas, for that side, but everyone can see it's fake. You can see it. We're not trying to take anyone's job. It's just trying to put a joke out there. But when again, in the workshops, I do show an AI picture and most people say, I really like this one. What's right? There's something not right. And I say, it's AI. So
and it's that we brought it up. We brought it up a couple of times on the show, talking about the Coca-Cola ad, the Christmas ad, and just how many mistakes people have been able to point out in that ad, because it feels to me like visual creatives think that it's like a false economy. It's like a false confidence almost, that it's going to fix it. It's going to do what I need it to do, but they don't pass they don't seem to pass that critical eye over it. You know, and Coca-Cola probably has one of the biggest budgets for marketing in the world.
Yeah. How did it get passed?
And there was,
do you reckon it was a strategy though?
It.
Because it possible there's mistakes where they wanted people they wanted people to comment on the mistakes or something like that. I'd love to know if it's operating at that level or if it was just
knowing big business, not a hope in hell, but but loving the fact that it's there now. People are talking about it. No, serious. If you've ever worked with very big businesses, and I've had some massive campaigns with very, very large businesses, the people, the art directors, all the people in the meeting, that they're so up their own arse, they don't know what's going on. They seriously do not. Mm-hmm. The amount of times I had an art director sacked, I didn't go purposely to do this, but halfway through a shoot, Johnson & Johnson sacked the art director because we're just wasting time on something that obviously was crap. And I was getting frustrated on the shoot. We're just shooting the same picture 500 times. The art director went to the toilet. Someone in one of the extras in the bus said, "You look really frustrated." I said, "This is just dumb. This is money being wasted, and this is dumb." So we had a bus full of people in the studio. It was all set up. And she goes, "So why is it dumb?" I said, "You've got a mother in a HazCam suit, and you've got a child not in a HazCam suit. This is before COVID. This is a new product which protects you as a barrier from disease. I don't know a mother who would get in there and leave the child out."
Yeah.
Most mothers would put the child in the oversized HazCam and they would stand outside.
Yeah.
Yep.
The person I was talking to in the bus, I didn't realize was the head of marketing of Johnson & Johnson. There were two people short, extra, and she went and sat in there. She then got off that seat, went and spoke to the ad agency. This girl's come out of the tight. She was told to go home. I finished the rest of the shoot on my own. And they changed it. They quickly got a HazCam suit for the child and everything. Like 15 minutes later, we got the shot.
Yeah.
And I just know how big business is. And it's not like I'm great. It's just they're so far up themselves because they came up with this silly idea in the first place.
And then
it's
need to follow it through to justify that their role was really important in this process, kind of thing. Yeah.
And it's that whole, creating something special through a committee. It just doesn't equate.
Doesn't work. No.
Because everyone, like you said earlier about taste and about how you like a steak versus how Justin likes a steak. Everyone's got to, and when you try to add everyone's flavor to an idea,
a pub meal.
It's a pub
imagine,
meal.
Imagine
it's like that meal we had yesterday, Justin. Average at best. No.
Imagine cooking to a room full of highest end chefs, right? And you could be an amazing chef, but you know that every one of them has different tastes.
Mm-hmm.
So you just still cook for yourself. It's the only way you can do it.
Yeah. Now I'm hungry again. We need to get off the topic of food.
Yeah.
Peter, can we talk a little bit about gear?
Yeah.
If you've got time to, it is. We've been
I'm
so
fine.
it's 11:15. As long as you're okay. If you need to go, fine. Just yell out.
No, I don't have to do any work while I'm doing this. Bec keeps looking at me. So
nice. We'll keep you on here all day.
Yeah, we'll just keep going.
Gear is the devil.
It is the devil, but sometimes the devil's in the detail. I watched this morning, actually. I watched yours and Bec's video on what you packed when you went to Europe. The amount of gear you carry and your unique solution for moving four suitcases along at the same time. A lot of that gear was video gear. And I just wanted to ask you, with the video content that you're capturing, is that for the client as well? Or is that purely for your behind the scenes work, your Inspire site?
All of the above.
Obviously, it is all of the above. Yep.
All of the above. If one of my favorite teaching videos that I have for teaching models, I use a bit to teach photographers. If I didn't have that gear, I would never have been able to shoot that video. That was in London in Airbnb.
Yep.
And if I didn't have it, I just would never have got it. And that's been such an important part. I have, with my video gear for our next trips, it'll be less with the new iPhone and using Blackmagic app. Even I'm doing it's been a disaster. I've shot it 3 times now and it's failed all 3 times. So I still have to do it again. I watched, I can't remember their name. There are a few of the high-tech people on YouTube, 10, 20 million. And they did this thing where one of them went out and shot with an iPhone and a Leica M11.
I watched
and
that,
brought the pictures
podcast.
up, and 90% of them could not tell which was which.
Yeah.
So on landscape, that's fine. Yes, I could. Shooting people, it's a bit different, but I'm trying to do it, and I'm shooting everything from an iPhone to a little RX, which is a great camera.
Oh, yeah?
One of the best cameras in the world. If you ever want for vlogging, for video, even for stills, there's a street photographer that only uses this. But anyway, that through my Leicas, Hasselblads, and I'm talking about CCD sensor through to a CMOS sensor, so you can see the 2 difference from the Hasselblads, right? And we're just shooting a scene which isn't. It's a little bit challenging with light, and that's where I messed up. The one we did the other day, the light was too challenging, and the iPhone won by a mile.
Yeah, because of the computational dynamic range and stuff like that.
I was running it through the Moment app, which you can turn off all the Apple stuff. Even then, I had full detail in all the mountains in the background, right into the shadows where the model was standing. Whereas every other camera blew out the background completely, unusable.
Wow.
Yeah, pretty remarkable now.
The only problem with the iPhone is it is horrible to take pictures with.
Yeah, terrible. Yeah. Have you ever tried the Leica grip they make for them?
Yeah, but you have to use the Leica app, don't you? I think the button only works with the Leica app. And so
I wasn't sure.
Right.
We talked about that last year.
Like presets, I think.
Yeah.
No, it's not. I am using the iPhone a lot more for video. We have what's the name of the company? What's the gamble we use back for the phones, the iPhones? Insta 360 Flow.
Oh yes, yep.
They are the best because they can, without running through their app, you can just use the camera and they will track you. And they track perfect. You can walk out of the room and walk back in, it'll find you again every time. It's a tiny little one. It has a selfie stick. Really, really handy. I'm using it a lot on shoots just to, whenever we're recording, it's one of our cameras. A lot of the times when I'm working with a model, I'm now, especially to get her up to speed, I'm throwing my iPhone on a little bracket I can put on top of my camera. And while I'm shooting, it's videoing. And after we do a little bit, I throw her and let her see the video. She goes, oh, I look really stiff, don't I? See, I can give them feedback, but this is looking so good. So I can use that to build her up a bit.
That's cool. That's great.
There's a video we put up an iPhone sort of crop version on Instagram. There's a full version on my website of Bec in far north Queensland. Most of it was shot on iPhone 13. This is video on a beach in far north Queensland. You'll be surprised at the detail in her black hair. Right? Yeah, so crazy. The iPhone is incredible for that stuff. The other gear we use, the Sony still has their A7S3 is still they haven't. Their the FX3 is the equivalent, but I didn't go to that, so I already owned the other one. We use an FX6 in the studio. We don't really travel with that because it's too big and heavy. We've got the little ZV, Bec? ZV, which is great. We can use S-Log, Cinelog, and do all these things with it. It's really small. The only thing is it overheats so quick. So I bought this little fan system to go on it. Nice and cheap, $34. 2 weeks later, it doesn't work anymore. So we bought the Sim. I don't know what they called Sim rig, small rig fan.
Oh yeah, yep.
But it doesn't have a battery in it. So now you have to connect a battery to it. But you're on a gimbal now, so now you have to mount a battery somewhere on it. So I got this little biggish battery that I could clip onto it. 20 minutes of filming, the battery had gone flat. So I have to run with bigger battery pack on top of the camera just to run the fan. The small rig works perfect. It will hold the camera below 30 degrees, which is great.
Okay.
Without that, it'll just go up to 35 and shut down. So that's the only problem with that. That's pretty much our video gear that we travel with. It's got our sound gear too, because we're doing podcasts when we're traveling.
Yeah.
When we're just filming stuff in the studio, I'm just using a small Zoom system that just clips onto me. It's got 32-bit float. It works perfect. I can stick them and hide them on models even. They're really easy to completely hide. When we're doing our podcast, we just use the Sennheiser system. But we run that back through a Zoom 3, which is 32-bit float. And I can't, sorry, it's really hard to not sound technical, but when you're doing this stuff, you just have to learn. You've got no choice. When we did the first couple of podcasts, everyone kept on saying how quiet it was. And we're sort of clipping the meters out like crazy. And I'm a fully qualified sound engineer, but things have changed so much. There's never a thing called LUFs. So I had to learn all this LUF crap. And now I know what loudness means. And now I run loudness LUF meters to make sure that we're running -16. So it's all this stuff that you have to learn.
Yeah.
It's this big circle, but once you learn it, then it starts falling into place.
Yeah.
Well, I
And
think
then
what's
once you
also
get your
great
settings-
about. Sorry, Jay.
No, let's go. No, go on.
I was just going to say, one of the great things that I love about your approach to your craft is how much you're prepared to share. And even just that video that I watched this morning, I can't remember if it was like 10 or 15 or 20 minutes, but of you and Bec going through your travel gear was quite eye-opening about just all the little bits and pieces that go into, it's all the bits in your toolkit. It's the little bag of clips. It's the different batteries. It's, and you have it all laid out.
You wouldn't believe how much that bag has saved me. Like the amount of studios I've been into, and the little nipple thing on the boom arm is fully round. The Pro Photo friggin' knob is so useless. You try and turn it and it just swings back to the bottom. So it swings back to the bottom. So I have to travel with the little spigots with flats on it so I can just tie it onto the flat. Now, no studios have it. The amount of little bits and pieces I'm carrying and the amount of times I'm getting photographers out of trouble because they don't even have bits and pieces. They're having a problem with their kit and I have to go put this on and this will do this. So we've learnt, and I wish I didn't have to carry the stuff. We are pretty much, the 4 bags are normally sitting up around about 28, 29 kilo each. My backpack is normally 32 kilo as carry-on.
Nice.
My computer bag, bear with me.
Wonder if he's ever been dinged. If they've ever tried to put it under
once.
once they tried to put it under the plane.
This is my computer bag. All right. That normally comes in at 27 kilo.
What do you got? Gold bars in there?
No.
Lead.
I've normally got 40 terabyte of hard drives, and that's not even 40 terabyte.
Yeah.
Right? I normally because I have to have stuff for anybody in the world can contact me. Yes, there's your file.
Yeah.
Wow. So you carry basically your archive of finished images with you.
I have 3 4 terabyte Samsung drives, which is all of my retouched TIFFs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're on me.
Wow.
But the cloud's a waste. It just doesn't work. You get somewhere like Germany, you're lucky if you can get 5 on your internet. The internet's so ridiculous, and uploading is just terrible. So all these things we learn, but we only got caught once where it was Paris, don't fly Air France, never, ever fly Air France, terrible. We missed our first flight because we were there 2.5 hours before the flight. It took us forever to get through the customs because your bags will have to, as you get in the queue to go to, they want to weigh your bags. So we zigzagged and got through that. We finally got through to the metal detector thing. They only had one person working, and every bag was getting flagged as having something problem with. And they only had one person working. So Bec managed to get to the plane. We were still in the metal detector queue with another 40 people waiting for their bags to be hand checked. So we missed our flight. We then had to go back out to the front of the airport to get new tickets to come back through that whole system again.
Oh, God. Yeah.
And we only had 2.5 hours till our flight. At least the thing went, but all right, so they did manage to stop us, put our bag. They don't want to put just one, they want to put all your hand luggage on this together, and they're only allowing you 10 kilo.
Yeah.
So they said, no, you got to check this in. So went over, we tried to tell him I can't check it in, it's full of batteries.
Oh, yeah.
So went over,
Smart.
went to the counter, and he put it on the scale. He goes, no, this has to be checked in. And I opened the bag, and he goes, this can't be checked in. And walked us back and said, let these people through.
Yeah.
I said, this bag here has got $140,000 of camera gear in it, and it's full of batteries. He goes, we're not checking this in. No way are we checking this in.
Yeah. Common sense prevails.
Well, one thing with it is there's a couple of videos on YouTube. Look them up. One of them's the F1 guy. There's an Australian F1 photographer. He's got a really good thing about how to get heavy gear and that through customs. His little tricks. There's a couple about getting, especially in America, places like that, are really hard, just even on internal flights. We tend to fly Qantas. We fly a lot, so we have a high status. We're allowed to take more luggage.
Yeah.
It might be a bit more fly premium or business, even on, you'll find if you're using points, it's not that much more expensive. That way they tend to skip you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't have
They
the
don't
overhead
look so
luggage
hard.
problems. Try and get on the plane as early as possible so your bag isn't one of the ones that one of the staff have to lift.
Yeah, exactly. And just act like they're light. You gotta,
Yeah,
wander
Yeah.
around like it's light.
You would be surprised. One of my bags, I just swing it like there's no weight in it.
It's 32 kilos.
Bec can't even lift it off the ground.
Yeah.
These are just the things. Everyone thinks it'd be a joy to be 6 months of the year traveling the world. Sorry, airports, customs, Uber, Airbnb, hotels. I'll give every one of them is just a pain in the butt.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just on the gear thing, I just want to quickly I've done a few videos about gear, and it's so hard for me to do them, but just listen to me carefully. If you've got a car, you buy a new car, you can't drive it, can you? Feels odd. Definitely can't drive it like you drove your last car. So every bit of new gear you buy, you've just put yourself back a month to 3 months. So I can tell you some of the greatest photographers that are working commercially in the world today that are using gear that is more than 15 years old. I'm one of them.
Yep.
My 80mm lens is 24 years old. My Hasselblad is 14 years old. My other one's about 17 years old. My Leicas are SL2s. Right? They're not the latest one. And I didn't even get the latest one. It is about the gear and it's not about the gear. And what that means is, and this is part of the video I'm trying to do. If I grab all my gear and I started to take pictures with every single one, my Sony A1, my Leicas, my Hasselblads, the iPhone, and which one felt good to shoot with, right? This thing feels horrible to shoot with. There's my viewfinder. Sorry, right? It's horrible to shoot with. So I don't care how good the pictures are. Trying to shoot with is just uncomfortable. The iPhone is horrible to shoot with. The Leicas are a joy to shoot with because in the viewfinder has all the information I want.
Yeah.
My viewfinder is black and white. I have highlight alert, which I can tell where to turn on. I can say, I want my highlight alerts turned on at 242. Bang, it's there. I have my focus peaking and a really simple menu system. My Hasselblad is my favorite of all to actually shoot, except I have no detail in the viewfinder. I don't have focus peaking, I don't have highlights on it, I don't have histograms, I don't have anything. This is one of the reasons why I'm not an ambassador of Hasselblad, because they brought out their mirrorless one. We've lost the beautiful viewfinder. to a TV screen that has no information. Can't go black and white, no histogram, no highlight alerts. What's the use of having a mirrorless? Yep. Same as
That's
Nikon
crazy.
and Canon. So people are going to Nikon, Canon people, I've said this many times, you need to start sending emails to these companies. Otherwise, they'll keep doing this shit. How come a videographer with this camera can get zebraing to show you when he is clipping, and you put it onto photo mode? Oh, you don't get it.
Yeah.
Why? Why do videographers get it and why don't Nikon,
Just do
Canon,
some-
Hasselblad? They won't change it. They don't want you shooting in manual. They want you on the AI model coming soon that you have to pay a monthly subscription for, and it'll work like an iPhone. It is going to take measurements everywhere. There's your
reckon?
soul. Yep, it's already there. I already seen Sony's.
Really?
Yes, one click
Towers.
is going to take 3 photos minimum in RAW.
Computational RAWs.
Yeah.
It's already there.
I don't like that.
Right, but this is why they don't want you having a soul. And for me, it doesn't worry me because guess what? My work's going to start really standing out
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
because it's not
And I
going to
think
look like everybody. Even if you look at what's happened with digital cameras, it's allowed people with a lot less experience get into photography and be commercial.
Yeah.
Well, this is going to be the next level. You're not going to need to know anything.
Every iteration on tech, like going from camera tech, going from film, through to digital, and then obviously mirrorless was a huge step where it's like, hey, if it looks good in the viewfinder, it's good. You're good.
Good, yeah.
And then if it gets to the point where it's essentially AIing the image at the time of capture to make it be, I don't know, whatever it thinks the image should be, a perfect landscape, everything exposed accurately the way it thinks it should be good, horizon leveling without having your camera's like this, but it just straightens it. This will be crazy.
Remember that camera they brought out a few years back, and I think it had like 9 or 8 lenses on it.
Yes.
And so it just photographed everything at every depth, at every ISO, and you could just later go in and choose
The Litro, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe.
You could go in and choose which bits of the image. Like there was no creativity to it. It basically just recorded a bunch of data, and you just selected which data points you wanted to make an image with.
Yeah. Gosh, this is it. The tennis, 2 people have brought up quote of the day. They don't want you to have a soul. That is. I think maybe I'll retitle this image the thumbnail that camera brands don't want you to have a soul.
They don't. I got so annoyed. I was in a meeting with Hasselblad in Europe, and this was just before the XD1 Mark II was to come out. And I'm sitting with the top guys in a very private, nothing being released, and I had to sign all this stuff. And I said to him, "So what photographers you been dealing with?" So I said, "Oh, none." So how did you decide? Oh, our marketing team. No, I'm
There's that
serious.
committee again. There's that committee.
Marketing team. They're not. So think about it carefully. Look at all the cameras out. How much do you think they're actually asking photographers? I couldn't believe it yesterday or the episode. DJI brought out their new gimbal.
Yeah.
From the very first gimbal they ever brought out, I said, why don't they just have a friggin' screw that you can just turn rather than have to move a clip and slide this sticky thing to get it balanced? Why can't we just turn to, so it costs too much. Guess what they released yesterday? Every one of the axes has a screw on it. That should have been done 5 years ago if you'd given it to, if you'd asked me. Same with Leica, the latest camera, the SL Mark SL3. If they'd asked me, I would have said, well, I don't want 2 different cards in my camera. I want 2 slots, but not 2 different cards. That's a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Like my computer has this card reader. Now I'm going to have to carry another card reader in my friggin', or I've got to plug it. So I went through all the things that they put on their camera and I said, see, I don't care about autofocus. I'm only in manual. And all these things I don't like your new camera. There's nothing on it that would make me want to buy. And that's where I am with gear, that I would say 80% of my photos taken on the H6D50 with an 80mm lens. It's already telling you what I should be shooting. Now, for ISO and for on the run and that's where my Leicas come in. And I do love the Leica glass. But again, I've come down to my favorite lenses, and I've managed to sell 5 or 6 lenses. I've got another 4 or 5 I'm selling because I'm just not there. Having them is confusing my photography. If you've only got one lens, you don't think about it. You have 2 lenses, now you're thinking. You have 5 lenses, you're not taking a picture.
Yeah. It's interesting because we actually had this discussion with Glyn Lavender the other night on the podcast, whereas he's got the opposite view where, although he's probably generally working in a less controlled situations, I guess, but he wants to have every option so that he's not constrained in the whatever he wants to do in that moment by gear. He's like, I don't want to be limited going, if only I had a wide or if only I had a, so he's the opposite. Whereas I struggle with that. I like to have, I've made my best work when I've had less lenses available, but I haven't always been able to do that because you shoot a wedding. But I remember one wedding, Jim and I were working together. And I said to Jim at the start of the day, I'm like, I'm only using the 50 today. You're going to have to get everything else that they might want. And so he did the hard work and I got to just rock around with the 50mm and I took better photos than I normally
58.
take. It was a 58,
when I'm traveling, I normally take a 50mm and an 80mm with my Hasselblad, because if I'm shooting in Airbnbs and I want to shoot just slightly lower and my back's against the wall, there's nothing I can do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I'm shooting mainly primes. I'm not even shooting with zooms.
Yeah.
But again, what I have a wide in the Leica bag that I carry, the 16, 18, 21. It's like a click, click, click wide. Oh, it's beautiful. It's got so many distortions. It's so crap. It takes the most amazing photos. I love it. It's an f4.
That's cool.
It's literally 16, click, 18, click, 21.
I wish camera manufacturers, more of them, made those, like instead of a zoom.
And the whole camera is only that big.
Yeah.
It's a tiny. And I took a picture of my old assistant at the Eiffel Tower, and the picture's just to die for. And I carry that just in case I'm going to do that type of shot. But in my normal work, I'm not wider than 50.
Yeah.
If I'm doing a fashion shoot, a fashion or street show, I might come up with 35. I even go down to a 16. I've shot 16mm for fashion. But so 90% of my work is sitting around that 50 to 80 area. So why am I carrying all these other lenses if that's 90% of my work?
Yeah, that's right.
Is it mostly for your SL? Is it mostly M glass with an adapter, or are you using some of the native SL lenses as well?
No, it's M glasses with adapter. I've got one SL. I've got the 24-90. It's too big, too heavy. Don't like, and I'm used to big and heavy. I just don't like it. It's going to go up for sale.
Yeah.
I actually
I've got a question.
Sorry.
No, you're right, Peter. Please finish.
I was just going to say, I only bought it because my Hasselblads are limited. In fact, the one I'm shooting at the moment, I've already seen the signs it's going to die, which means that's 10,000 in the rubbish bin.
Yeah.
I have 3 50 megapixel H6s. I own them right now. I have one 100 megapixel H6, and I've got 2 dead backs on top of that. Whenever I see one for sale, if it's got a low count, I've been buying it because you cannot get them repaired. And you don't know when they're going to go. The last trip to Europe, mine went on the 3rd day. So I had to do the rest of the trip without it.
Oh, gosh.
So now I'm going to be carrying 2 backs. Anyway.
Just to add to it.
Oh,
God.
Justin, I want you to ask your usual question, the zombie one, but I just want to preface it with, watching that video this morning and talking to you here today, there's a lot of bits and pieces that go into your kit to do the work that you do. But there's a question that we ask every guest about one particular camera. Justin, do you want to fire that one away?
If it was the end of the world, zombie apocalypse, and you grab your flamethrower so you can Cook them.
Cook some zombie.
and then in the other hand, you can only grab one camera and lens combo to document the end of the world, however you want to, whether it's in the studio with a well-behaved zombie or whatever. What one camera and lens would be your go-to?
SL2S with the 50mm that I've got. I can't tell you the numbers behind it, but it's my favorite. It's taken me 8 50mm on the Leica to find it. It's one that doesn't have a tab on it. It's just it's a Summilux, but I can't remember. All the numbers give me the shit, so it's
I don't understand. Like,
and the reason would be the
system.
SL2S is the S has better low light. But if I need the video as well, I think I'd just take the SL2 because it has a much better video, and I'll just go slower shutter speeds for nighttime.
Yeah, nighttime zombies.
And a follow-up question for you, Peter: when you're not packing all of this gear for, whether it be a Europe trip or a workshop that you're running or whatever it may be, do you just head out the door with a camera in hand to shoot whatever comes to you, or is your photography very much an application that is well thought out and well planned, and it's more structured?
Well, you'll see on a few of the videos we've done outside, like on beaches and things like that, it's pretty much, you'll be mostly 2 cameras. So there'll be a Hasselblad, and there'll be a medium format and a 35mm.
Yep.
And it's also to get different looks. So Hasselblad has a look. I just love its look. It's sitting around 5.6 to f8. I just really love that look. Yeah. But then if I wanted to have something a little bit more moody, a bit more fall off, that's where I've got a beautiful antique 75 Summa Lux on my Leica. It flares like a bitch. It flares so easy. It's soft, but it's still razor sharp. It's soft. It's a 1984 lens. It's an old lens. Wow. Friggin' love it. It feels like film. I just adore using it. So I take better pictures because I really like using it. This more modern 75 Summicron technically is a better lens. It's got a bit more contrast. The focus peaking shows up better. I don't enjoy shooting with it.
Yeah.
And if you enjoy shooting with it, you take better shots.
You're more engaged.
Engaged, yeah.
Yep.
You're not. Yep. If you enjoy it, you don't think about your gear. You're only thinking about what you're capturing. As soon as you start thinking about gear while you're shooting, you've just destroyed your creativity. Gear needs. That's with a Hasselblad. It just disappears in my hand.
Yeah,
I'm so used to the weight, so used to everything.
Yep.
And I know it sounds. I know exactly. Oh, that sound. It's about to crash. I know exactly all my sounds.
Yeah.
So it's pretty much Hasselblad with my 80 on there, and just take a Leica with something a bit more motives, maybe slightly longer, or something will go down to f2 or f4, f1.2, f1.4 if I wanted to use that.
Yep. I saw this before. Mia Muse has been in the comments heaps. Thank you, Mia Muse, for getting amongst it, and said that earlier in the show ask about the shirt, and then the shirt is the best piece of gear. Show us the shirt. What's going on with the shirt?
That's Bec in Paris, leaning out the balcony, overlooking. We did a thing for a little bit that there's certain things that we do. So Bec has a thing with a sheet in Paris. So quite often, I think we've done 3 or 4 shoots in Paris where she's just wearing a sheet. So it's funny how we can get some just silly nothing and make a series out of it. So the thing on the shirts, some people think it's creepy, and I get creeped out because they think it's creepy. I just think they're creepy. But I don't have there's nothing on the shirt that says I took this photo. So when I'm wearing this on a shirt, it's just a t-shirt with a picture on it.
Yep.
I really like this picture. In fact, I love this picture. And I love it more than most other t-shirt pictures. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yeah.
So I'd rather wear something that I love. I appreciate it. So I'm not using it to show off because nobody knows I took it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I pretty much every day decide who I'm wearing. I'd have 30, 40 t-shirts hanging up. There's not that many pictures, but that's having got hanging up. And I get up in the morning and think, I've had enough of Bec. Who else have I got in my wardrobe? Rah, I'll grab a rah picture. Then the next thing is, how many times have you been commented about your T-shirt? Think about it. How often?
Not
Never.
often.
Right.
Plain black.
Bec knows when we're traveling all the time. Very rare I go through customs without someone saying, "Oh, cool T-shirt," or "Who's that on your shirt?"
Yep.
Right. So it's created. That's already telling me that my other people, without even knowing I took the photo, are telling me that my work's cool.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Without even, no, they're not, they don't know who you
No
are or
prompt,
anything like
no
that. But
nothing.
it's just, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you follow it up and sort of, I guess, continue the conversation that you know, that you did take
Depends.
the photo, or?
Yeah, it depends. It really depends on who says it and the way they said it. I'd sometimes say, "Yeah, thanks,
Yeah.
cool."
Yeah.
So, but then I got one T-shirt that I saw get through American Customs because it's 4 pictures of Natasha on the shirt, and Customs always spend more time looking at the pictures, going, "Oh, wow, yeah, you can go."
than worrying about you. That's awesome.
It is. They tend to, the American Customs, it's one I tend to put on, although I was wearing it once when we were flying to London, but we had to go through Singapore to Dubai, and some of the flight crew said, when I get off at Dubai, I can't wear that T-shirt, so I had to put another shirt over the top.
Mm.
It didn't have boobs or anything on it. They just didn't like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Too
Too
suggestive.
conservative. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now I know we're rolling on. I'm sure you've got plenty of stuff to do, but I will get in trouble off Tony if I don't ask you about your sim rig.
Right.
When did you get into so for anyone that doesn't know what a sim rig is, it's basically like a virtual racing car that you can have in your house or wherever, but it feels very similar to a real car. It's kind of like it's about as close as you could get without actually getting
Very
in a car
immersive.
and driving around a track.
Yeah.
Very immersive. Screens wrap around, and it's got, it's not like a toy steering wheel. It's like a real steering wheels. The pedals feel real. They've got the steering wheels have got feedback. Anyway. When did you get into that?
About 10, no, maybe more than that, maybe 12 years ago, I needed an out. I was spending all my time just photography. No hobby, nothing else in photography. I loved it, but I needed an escape. I needed something I could just go out and punch something. You know what I mean? Just something completely different. And I used to race karts when I was young, and I love it. And when I bought one of my cars, I got some track day, friggin' loved it. And then BMW found out I was a photographer. Then I could go down anytime I like on track days. And then they start letting me free on the track without an instructor near me. I could just grab an M4, Phillip Island, go as hard as I like because I could see I could drive. Then I found out this sim stuff, went and tried one, and and it's not a game. As much as you think it's a game, it's not a game. It's not running properly at the moment. Like I said, I got busy and I didn't use it for 6 months. And when I came back, everything needed to be upgraded and things didn't work with the old hardware.
Yeah.
But my system is built on a proper racing car. I predominantly love racing GT3 and GTE, so that's all of that style of car. My brake is set to 140 kilo. So for my brake to lock, my pedal is 140 kilo of pressure to get it to the lock. My steering wheel, if I hit a wall and don't take my hands off it, it'll break a thumb. It'll break a wrist. It's proper feedback, exactly. You feel the understeer, you feel everything. I have 4 of these shaker woofer things, one under each of my feet, left and right on the pedal box, and one left and right under my seat. So you hit ripple strips, you feel it on your front tire or your back tire.
Oh, that's nuts. Tony didn't have
Insane.
It's got the full motion rig. I've got the seatbelt tightener, so as you hit the brakes, the seatbelts pull you back, just like
it would feel in the car.
So it's got all of that stuff, wind machines, which the faster you go, the more wind comes through from the front.
Whoa.
What? You've got wind machines?
Yeah, there's two wind outlets there and there, and they're
That's
controlled by the faster you go, the more wind comes out.
Tony doesn't have that. Tony,
Yeah,
that's
what are you
never
doing,
you.
Tony?
Tony,
I'm a
you're the
gamer, and
cheap
I've,
one.
I've been a gamer my whole life, but the sim racing stuff is just next level. It's
But
crazy.
then it's not a game. What people
Like you
don't
say,
realize
yeah,
in
it's
real
not.
life, you have less rules. It's not as strict in real life. So on the sim track, in a race, and I'm racing humans. I'm not racing AI. It's all people that I can talk to over my microphone. Just hit and chat to the whole group, or I can set up channels while we're racing. So we have to qualify first. You can come into a practice. You come in, then qualify. In your qualifying, if you put one tire off the track anywhere, time's deleted.
Yeah,
So it's not like F1, you can take a
we'd
bit out
struggle, Jim.
anywhere
Oh, yeah.
off. Once you're in the race, one tire just going off the track is going to hit you with a point penalty.
Yeah.
If you hit someone up the arse, that's 4 points. If you spin out, it could be 2 or 4 points. You've only got 16 points for a 40-minute race. Once you hit 16 points, you've got to go to the pits and do a timeout. Might be 10-minute or 5-minute or a 2-minute. But when we're racing, we're just like real car racing. We are fighting for 10th of seconds.
Yeah.
So we've got our own cheats. Even when we come into the pit, we have our cheats to get the fastest in and out lap without being booked for speeding. It's a little trick you do by tapping the accelerator pedal and brake pedal as you're driving through. By doing that, you can gain a quarter of a second over somebody who's not doing it in the pits. That quarter of a second is hard to make up on the track.
Yeah.
I know it sounds crazy, but once you, and I have a coach team which I use that's got me racing even better. Your car feels like a real car. They've now got full weather on the system I use. So you've got rain, you've got all that stuff on there. You have your pit stops. You crash, it damages your car too. All of a sudden, your car's got an understeer on it. It won't drive properly. So
Jim did a rally stage on the weekend. So we went to Tony's. We'd done some laps around Bathurst, and then Tony was like, all right, we'll try the rally car. Jim, in a 10-minute rally stage, he got to the point where the system was like, your car no longer runs, DNF. He crashed it so many times, they were like, nah, it doesn't even, at first it started not steering very well, and then by the end of it, it just stopped. Like, you suck. Tony wants to know what your go-to program is on the sim.
On the sim, I'm iRacing.
iRacing, yeah.
iRacing, that's the only one I use. I've tried all the others, but iRacing for me it's the one that feels the most natural to a real car. I know that I've been on Phillip Island a lot. I know that track very well. On iRacing, it's nearly identical. The bump is exactly where it is. When I hit that bump, lift off the brake, my whole car will rotate. I can get on the accelerator exactly as I do on the track. So I like that. The other thing is on it, there's, you tend to, there's people like Shane Van Gisbergen, Scott McLaughlin, all of these guys, you tend to, every now and then you get in the same split as one of these great drivers. I've actually been in a race where Max Verstappen's been on board. I've been in one where Orlando Norris has been in.
That's nuts.
They're on it all the time. Max has won the 24-hour. They run 24-hour races too. 24-hour Daytona, 24-hour Spa, Nürburgring. And they literally 24-hour race. You have 3 drivers in different countries. You pull in the pits, you get out of the car, he gets in another country.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it sounds
Very,
so
very
fun.
It is fun. You get on, you learn the track, you practice a bit, you get into your race. There's a whole grading. If you don't have many accidents and you finish high, your numbers go up, you get into better splits in the race. The quicker you can get away from the rookies, the less damage you get. So rookies just tend to punch you. It is. And it's not, never felt it was ever like a game. It feels like real life to me because it is so structured and you can't just ram someone. You can get banned for life. Someone did get banned recently for life. And it's, you go on there, you do maybe 40-minute, if on new track, 40-minute practice, qualify a race that might be 40 minutes, says 2 hours, go have a shower because you're literally covered in sweat by the end of it. It's hard work.
Yeah.
We were sweating after 10 minutes.
To me, it's not a waste of time because I've thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And it's been a complete escape. I don't have to think about clients or feeding Bec or.
I do love that you've wallpapered it with images that inspire you, your own photos and things. So you're decompressing, but you're also kind of feeding your I don't know, the passive kind of artistic brain or whatever. Like you're not looking at them intently; they're just there.
It's a feel good room. I walk into that room and I just feel good. The Sim's there, the pictures are there.
Yeah.
So it's just been in that room. It's sort of like this reset.
Yeah.
I think everybody needs, at the moment, I still don't have that to reset on. Music's also a reset for me too. If I get on, and I love writing, and like I was saying before, this one I did recently with Bec. It's on my webpage. It'll mostly go on YouTube this week or next week. But just writing music and then putting the music onto your timeline and then editing footage of a model to match in with the music and create that's just so much fun. Really enjoy doing that. But that's both of my passions. So music is a passion, and we managed to get Tomorrowland tickets this year, so I'm really happy. We didn't think we were going to get them.
Heard you had to buy scalped ones.
Yes, it's the only way.
Literally.
So we normally do Global Journey. That just was sold out. So then we had pre-sale, 1.5 minutes sold out. 200,000 people a day gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is
insane.
like, the problem is too many people are telling everyone how good it is, and it is good. And I didn't feel old there. Sounds stupid. I did not feel old there.
Felt like I would feel old there.
No.
Really?
I would say the average age would be 30, 35.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And it's
I thought it would be like 21.
No, and Bec calls it adults Disneyland. Well, it is, and so there's just places you can go if it gets a little bit much for you. There's these chill areas. They've got some nice music playing. It's still outside, and there's a couple of bars there. You taste your wine first. So they'll say, which one would you like? Oh, yeah, that one. I'll do the glass. They have freshly shucked oysters. They have crayfish. They have steak, barbecue.
Sounds terrible.
I'm not joking.
Yeah,
And
I
you
thought
just-
it would just be like
Just
festival.
16 stages of music simultaneously running. And you can just bounce around the stages. We get a bit tired, you go into one of them, chill out, have a couple of drinks, then go back in. The crowd are
oysters.
amazing. Yeah, we did. I had oysters every day, and the crowd are the food there. All right, the best thing is, in the last time 2 years ago we did both weekends, so it's 6 days. We did. I was averaging 30,000 or 35,000 steps a day for those 6 days. There was only one toilet I didn't go into.
Was it part of we're hoping to
They
map all the
cleaned
toilets? or?
They cleaned the toilets like
I see.
they're spotless. There was only
That's
one
awesome.
toilet. I've opened the door and gone, nah. Every other toilet just as clean as you go to an area which is a refresh area. You lift up your arms. They spray you with deodorant.
Wow.
There's a sunscreen areas. No, it's really, really hard to explain. And the crowd is just unbelievable.
I went
you
to
don't see
Splendor.
fights. You don't see Splendor in the grass.
Yeah, there was only one toilet that I did go into. Every other one was covered in everything. It was it was the opposite. It was horrible, especially because we camped. So like by the end of the weekend, it was intense.
Anyway, we're happy. We're happy that we've got our. It'll not so by the last time I go, but it is a thing, and I love music so much, and I was so happy last time I went. I got to see Swedish House Mafia live, which I never seen them before. To see them on the big stage was incredible. And then DJs, Dead Mouse and Rez and people like that I really, really enjoy. Wow. And to see them on these massive stages with incredible light shows, it's just to die for. And it's like, that was 1 hour. What's happening next hour? And you just go from, and it's, every stage is different. And it's for a musician, it's just to die for.
Do you come back from that with any sort of renewed creativity or changed perspective for your photographic work?
Not creativity. I just became more free. Mind is more like being cleansed, opened. I can think freer. So I don't go there and think of ideas. It's more like a complete drain. As much as I can do whatever I like, it's my business. Business is still bills have to be paid every single month.
Yeah.
There's still things, things are out of your control that can really upset you, but it's had nothing to do with you. Some shitty band like Motley Crue steal your photos for 2 years, and you can't even sue them because of America's copyright laws and just shit like that. That when people steal your stuff and you can't do anything about it. Richard Prince sold one of my pictures. He took off Instagram for $90,000.
Oh,
can't do a thing about it.
That
So
sucks.
things like that. There's lots of those things that suck. When one of my Hasselblads die, that sucks.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But no, besides that, life is good, and I've got a lot more control over my life than most people. But if you put in the hard yards and work really, really hard, and I never worked for the money. Money was never my driving goal. If money was my driving goal, I don't think I'd be where I am today. Money just happens.
It comes
As soon
with it.
as soon as you start chasing it, you'll lose the best jobs. And those best jobs will then end up making you the most money.
Yep.
I did a little dance shoot as a 1.5 hour shoot with a 16-year-old dancer. 1.5 hours, no editing. Just simple octobox. He just wore jeans, and that was it. And the Italian dance company bought those images off me, full year's usage rights. Like, it's the best paying job I've ever had, and it was a 1 hour shoot.
Yep.
And I guess that's the thing is the end user, they don't care if it took an hour or a day or 2
No.
days. They want the images. They want
They
the work.
the images I sent them to a couple of dance magazines that went viral through them, and then the Italian dance company said that suits our program for this year, and they bought usage for them for a year, and it's a lot of money.
Yeah.
It's so good. It's the stories that we don't hear much anymore because of that.
Yeah.
That part of the industry does seem harder and harder to.
It is harder and harder, especially with
yeah.
AI, that people can recreate stuff similarly and that. But I still, AI doesn't scare me for me. It scares me for other people.
Yeah.
Once you get your own soul and show the world your soul, AI can't copy a soul. It can't. Can't do it with music. Can't do it with pictures or anything. Mine is broken. AI could never come up with a model that goes with my brain. So I'm completely safe with it. I'm more worried about with the AI is the amount of good people are going to lose because of AI to benefit a very small group of people who are already trillionaires.
Yep.
It's all going to be owned by 4 or 5 companies. They're just going to go richer. Everyone else is going to be less.
Just another step in that direction with what's happened with the tech giants. With
it's exactly
Facebook, Amazon, everything, and this is just the next step in that same direction.
And
Well, it's like I said the other day. Sorry, a comment I made the other day was that social media platforms like Instagram used to work for us as photographers, but now it feels like we're working for them.
Yeah.
What annoys me with all of these platforms is when you first get on them, they beg and beg and beg for you to put on as much content as possible and build your following. And as soon as you built your following, now you need to pay money for the following that you've built so they can see your picture.
Yep.
Yeah.
To access your audience.
I'm not happy with what Apple's doing with their now subscription thing, although I love 2 of their programs. And they've been doing that. I've had those programs forever. I've only ever paid for them once. I don't mind paying. Yeah, I don't mind paying a bit more if I'm going to get regular updates like some of the other programs do. So that doesn't bother me. What bothers me is I got an email this morning saying subscription renewal for some AI chat thing, which is on Mail. I never signed up for this. Went on to it. No, I never signed up for it. It's starting, but it's been there for free. But as of March, you have to pay $59 a year for it.
What?
So
Is
I
it an
just went,
Apple thing?
it's an Apple thing. Came from Apple this
Really?
morning. Yeah, I've still got the email sitting there to show Bec.
Like a
It
mail?
literally
Okay.
is Apple. What was the actual, what they call it? Or do you delete it back?
You wouldn't use mail anyway, would you, Justin?
I don't use, no, I use the Gmail app.
Gmail.
But
Yeah.
I'm sure they're figuring out ways to extract some more money using AI. They
Did you
keep
delete the
suggesting
Apple
me
thing?
like AI
can't
stuff,
see
AI
it there now.
tools.
I can't. If I just bring up, it was. I noticed it the other day in something on the Apple. I went to message something and I could have clicked this box, which was going to change my response.
Yeah.
No, I can't see it here. Anyway, I did get one this morning. I think but it's not sitting in my. Let's see if I can do tech with dyslexia. ALP. Subscription renewal. Here we go. G.A1 4.1 AI chat assistant. That's what it's called. It's come from Apple. Subscription renewal. I never set up a subscription. The subscription only starts in March. So it was never a subscription.
Interesting.
But they
They've
try to
now
make you
said
think you've already agreed to it.
And it's like they're just telling you what day they're going to bill you.
Yeah.
So I've gone in there to review and just said cancel.
Yeah.
Because I've never used it. I never would have used it. Because Bec does the typing. I don't type. It's a horrible job. I type like I take photos, one finger.
Yeah. Well, I used to.
I'm very conscious of time.
Yeah.
So we might draw a bow in this episode, but very easily sit here and chat for hours and hours and hours more.
Definitely,
Peter. But look, I think it is a good place to park. Was there any last questions that Jim or Justin that either of you guys had?
You got anything on your mind, Jim?
Oh, about 1,000 things. So I think we'll have to leave that for another
Still
time.
going around.
No, we got to get down for one of those 5-day workshops. That's what we need.
That's what we need.
We'll make that happen.
But look, Peter, on behalf of us here at the Camera Life Podcast, thank you so much for your time, your insight, and your generosity of spirit and information, and I think also just cutting through the chase and calling out, especially with AI advancing, calling it out for what it is, that it is soulless. That's why we take photos, because we want to capture those moments, those soul-like moments forever. And that can't be replicated by a machine. At least we hope it never can. But look, thank you so much once again. Absolute privilege to sit down and talk to you. We've been looking forward to this chat for quite some time. And also thanks to Bec for setting it all up in the background. She's done an amazing job. But yeah, Justin, you got anything else you want to finish up with?
No, just other than that, like we've said, Peter runs workshops. Go to the Inspire website if you want to see more of the behind the scenes of the shoots. But there is plenty of, you can see a bit of that on YouTube for free. You'll get a feel for what the content's like. But I've been loving jumping on Inspire. This isn't an ad either. Peter didn't pay me to say this. I enjoyed digging around on there. There's tons of videos and info. And otherwise, the Peter and Bec podcast is a fun listen with 184 episodes. From all over the place. It seems like you guys do it just wherever you happen to be that week, which is pretty fun.
Yeah, we haven't missed an episode in 184. Every week it's gone up, rain, hail, shine. And it's not like some weeks we get there, we don't talk about what we're going to talk about. We've got no idea. I might have a list, you might have a list, or we might not. And we just talk crap. Sometimes it's just us crapping on about nothing. Other times there might be a strong subject, but Bec and I, it's nearly like a 1 hour chat for Bec and I once a week. So
debrief, a bit of a
debrief. So it doesn't make us money. It was never meant to make us money. I think we most likely earned over those episodes maybe $200 in revenue, but that's not why we do it. It was never done for that. It was when we go, especially when we go overseas, the guys turn up to the workshops and go, "This is weird. It's like we all know you two, and you know nothing about us, but we know everything about you two."
Mm-hmm.
So it's sort of a really good icebreaker for when we're on workshops overseas.
Yeah. So
that's very
jump
cool.
into that. And I don't know, is there anything else people should know, where to follow you, what to do? stuff
No,
coming
just
up?
if you just go to even on my web page, it has a link to everywhere to go.
Yep.
So just on that, it'll take you to workshops or Inspire. And we will always do our smaller bits on YouTube, and quite often it's different. What we like the latest on flipping images that only went to YouTube because it's just a little quickie. Yeah. I'd rather do something that was a lot more in depth that goes on to Inspire, something that has a little bit more. Well, it's slowed down a bit. Yeah, it might be a bit longer, but you actually see the little bit of polishings, and they're the important things. Yeah. So when I'm setting up a light, you have to watch what I slowly polish that light up to. Is on YouTube, it's just, it's there.
Yeah. Because they
miss the 20 steps in between.
Yeah.
Cool.
Very cool.
Well, on that note,
thank you, Peter.
Thank you so much. We'll
no worries.
Say goodbye to some people in the chat as well.
We will. I should do our ad read, Greg.
Yeah, go on.
We didn't do an ad read.
We should.
Hey, if you want a leather camera strap, we make them. Lucky camera straps. Yeah. So just go to luckystraps.com if you do want a strap for your camera. They're quick release, anti-theft, cut resistant Dyneema webbing, all leather, very comfortable. Put them on any camera. We've got a lot of people using Leica SL2s and 3s with them. And we even got a photo of someone using a Hasselblad X2D2 thingy, R2D2 Star Wars camera. So yeah, if you need something, you know where to go. There's our ad. And with that, we'll roll the music and read some chat comments out. Ian Thompson says, thank you, Peter. Wonderful episode. Well done, guys. Phil Thompson's, thanks so much for all of that. Incredible listening to Peter, his passion, knowledge, and generosity in sharing the way you did. Yeah, 3 hours and 10 minutes. Insane. LTK photo, it was great. Thanks again. Dennis, School of Light, says, incredible, Peter. Thanks so much, mate. Julie Powell, thanks. Dennis says, AI can't copy your soul. Duh. Tin Type Man, thank you. East Coast Photography, good to see you. Says, thanks, guys, especially Peter for sharing your knowledge. Got to head off to the next shoot. Awesome. Have fun on your shoot. Tony, thanks for letting us use your sim. We're going to race Peter one day and get beaten by a lot. LTK Photo, 24-hour race would definitely recommend. I don't know. Thanks, everyone that's been in the comments. Paul Sutton, good to see you. Leaf Busby, Philip Johnson, Mia Muse, everyone was here. And with that, thanks again, Peter.
No worries.
Have a good day.
Don't forget to like and subscribe, everybody.
Oh, yeah,
Be
that
safe.
too.